What is going on? Uh-oh. I forgot to turn down my phone, i.e. camera. Can you guys hear me? What is up? Paul Mills, Marco, all you guys, Marisol, Chris229, all you channel members, and all you just subscribers hanging out. I love seeing you guys. I've got Tippy sitting on the knives. I apologize for that. If you notice the table shaking, that is why. But we've got some cool EMP EDC knives from my collection out there. Angry Tom, what is up? Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. It looks like people are all wrenched up. Use them responsibly. Share your links. Jim Turgliafiera, channel member, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. I think I said hey to brother Paul Mills. I'm just looking at the bottom, guys. I'm not even looking at the top yet. I think John Rusk from EMP EDC, I think is going to join us about 6:30 his time, which is about 15 minutes. So just to kind of talk knives, talk about some things they've got going on. Some, if you guys have followed the channel or kind of my jam, one of the first, I guess, fidget knives I really got into was this OG Nimble. I remember Lefty showing it off on his channel, and I can't really flick it now. And this is kind of how my progression through EMP EDC went as I was grabbing them. And then I've got a couple of really cool things to show you guys from TKL, if you fit for Fixed Blade Friday, and something else for Fixed Blade Friday that I'm putting in a box after tonight. I've had it for a week. I'm sending it back to its rightful owner, brother Ben Belkin. But this knife has absolutely blown me away. I don't know. I'm going to check here in a second to see if they're still available. There were some Ultims that were still available on River's Edge Cutlery and on Smoky Mountain Knife Works. But guys, this little knife, if you're a small fixed blade guy or gal, which I think if you've seen my weaknesses, I am. This is a dainty, whoops. See that? This is a dainty little ambidextrous. When I say ambidextrous, it's a coffin handle, has a coffin sheath so you can carry it right or left. Has a really nice clip, kind of a deep concealment style clip that I carried it in my back pocket when I was carrying it. And that's Ben's lanyard. But wow, when I went to Blade Show, the story behind this knife is I went to Blade Show, and that was one of the booths I went to and talked to Ben, and I wasn't expecting to see a small fixie. And in talking to him, and since when I've left, thinking about the possibilities of other small, cool fixies based off, I think of the low drag jack right out of the chute. I mean, I think that would be a great little Skinner style EDC fixed blade, but not everybody's into them. So I'll be curious to see. I don't know how many they made, but I know that the first, the purple, the micarta, the let me do something real quick. Off midnight. I'm sorry, I can't multitask better, guys. Whoops. See, I'll throw a Z in there and I'll screw up my search. So yeah, I know that the totally hates it, dude. And I get it. What's up, Mr. Eddie? I totally get it. You know, it's not for everybody. And what I was doing is I've got several, you guys know I collect fixed blades, right? So I've got a lot of, and you guys will probably tell me they're overpriced, and they might be, but I've got, for example, this Griffin Company Scout 2.5. Stasa is the one that turned me on to this knife. And I even got the Scout Medic. This cost more in S35VN than the Jack Wolf. And then I don't know where my Axon is, but I've got my Vero Axon. And I know you guys will all say, well, Vero Axons are overpriced, but see, I really like that knife. I know it's OEM by Best Tech. I picked it up for $285. That's a lot for a fixed blade. This knife that I've got in my back pocket that I was going to show you guys, that's available right now at TKL site, This is a sweet little defensive Tanto that's very slicey. I did an unboxing on it this afternoon. Actually, it was last night. But I've never been a pinky ring kind of guy, but I can actually tell you that it does not impede on my grip like I thought it would. And I can see several advantages to having it, especially in a tactical defense style knife. But this is made in the USA down in my neighboring state of Georgia. And these happen to be in stock right now. Um, I got another one to look at to show you guys. That little guy. Both of them built kind of along the same platform. And I would call it not as much necessarily tactical, but it gives you, you're not going to drop the knife, right? If you're using it, you're not going to drop it because you've got, in essence, a ring on your pinky holding it in there. But anyway, I wanted to show that to you guys. And then this showed up in the mail yesterday from an address that I was not expecting. It was a personal address. I didn't know what it was. And do y'all know what this is? The unboxing goes out tomorrow. Scotch, what is up, brother? I will shoot you a link, man. I didn't see if you were around. I'm waiting for John Rusk to join us for he's going to jump on for I don't know, a little while, talk EMP EDC, and then I'll shoot you over a link if you're available. Do y'all know what that is? Anybody have an idea? It's a Voss Steed. Does it look familiar? It's a mini something. It's a mini something that you guys know what it is. It's a mini raccoon. It's not even on their site yet. It only has a part number. The only reason I say it's a mini raccoon is because I'm guessing that it's a mini raccoon because I've had two regular raccoons and no, one regular raccoon and two Warncliffe. And this mini, I can tell you, is about a 16th, maybe an eighth of an inch longer than the Civivi Baby Banter, but it's got a very unique front finger choil with some nice jimping. Ooh, Savage Creature Fixed Blade. Hold on, Scotch. I got to Google that. I'll tell you what. Was it Paul that picked up a knife from you? Somebody picked up a knife from you that was showing me pictures, and it looked awesome. Of one you let go. You know what's funny? It's not funny. It's kind of scary. Um, when I talk about Googling things, I've got Google Home, right? So it actually picks up on my shit. And it doesn't say like it talks to me usually. Is it Savage Creature Defense Tools, Scotch? Is a Savage Creature Fixed Blade Savage Creature Defense Tools? I'm looking at a Facebook group that I haven't opened yet because I really tread lightly on Facebook. That's it. All right, let me open it up. Oh, it wants me to go in there. So I wonder if they're also Creature Fix Compendium. I bet they are. No, I bet they're not either. That looks like some kind of video game, weird freaking dark web thing. All right, I'm gonna put knife on there. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm just very, very interested and I'm at a loss. All right, here we go. I found Instagram. That's a win. I should have gone there first. But see, I don't have the tab open. And with my squirrel brain, if I don't already have the tab open. All right, Scotch, what was it called again? Let me scroll back up. The Mini Titan. Mini Titan. That's let's miss Mini Titan. Ew, I mean, all of his blades look very, very sick. Is it on there, buddy? Is the Mini Titan on his Instagram? You could give me the number of rows down and the number over, and I could play like bingo. For example, I did not have the mini raccoon on my bingo card. I was not even thinking about that little knife because I had a mini pyrite. I think I had two that I gave away on Friday Night Flicks. And I got this little guy, which I'll spend a little time with. You have to go down some. I'll find it. I'll find it. It's worth seeing. Hold on a second. Snow Trog, what is up, brother? Let's see. Let me get the name of it again. Savage Creature, fixed blade. It's called the Mini. What was it again? So when I get down there, I find it. Mini Titan, Mini Titan, Mini Titan. Did you buy it from a buddy on the secondary? All right, buddy, you're a moderator. You're gonna have to drop me a link, killer. You're gonna have to drop me a link, homeboy. Yeah, I was seeing there's Mr. Eddie. There's several. When I pulled the particular knife that Scotch got, what's up, Logan? Welcome, man. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the live stream. We hang out for several hours. We've got John Rusk from EMP EDC coming by to talk knives for a little bit tonight, and we've got some other guests. Scotch and Things is going to join us later. Pocket Metal can drop in at any time. He's got the keys to the back door. Um, yeah, we just kind of hang out. The little pyrite was great. This was very surprising. When I first took it out of the box, which you guys will see today, you'll notice it wasn't in a shipping box because it came and I didn't know if maybe it was a viewer sending a knife for giveaway that I could, open, read a note. I didn't want to do those kind of on camera. If they come from somebody that's a random, but it's in a bag from a company, I don't mind opening it. But when I opened it, it didn't have the name on the Vosteed box of what it was. It just had a part number. And I was on camera, so I didn't look at it and Google it because I couldn't. I was using my camera. But what I noticed is closed, I did not know it was a mini raccoon, which I called my title a kit because I Googled what is a mini raccoon, and a baby raccoon is called a kit, KIT. I didn't know that. But this front flipper was kind of interesting to me because when you first take it out, you can tell that it's got a weird little closed stance with that front flipper. But then it's got these thumb studs that are just banging. So when I first opened it, I knew exactly what it was, right? I knew that it was a little raccoon. I don't have my full size raccoons because I gave those guys out. Logan, there's some great ones out there, buddy. And there are some very, very inexpensive ones. I've kind of graduated to a little more crazy ones, even though I've been on a buying freeze for the last 5 months. But the ones that got me into it were well under $60. And I loved them. I learned that I would use them and they made, good. I started out having them being enhancements to my carry. And now with some of the knives that I carry them as a primary, like that Vero Axon that I like so much. It's a fixed blade. I've got it deep enough in my pocket where in Alabama I can carry it with no sweat. And I don't need to carry a primary folder if I'm not going to be fidgeting. It's usually a weekend knife. But this little guy, I don't know what it's going to cost yet. I went to their website after I did the unboxing and I couldn't find it, but I can't imagine it being much. 14C front flipper that works very well. Nice little knife. Like I say, it's about an eighth of an inch. It's about an eighth of an inch. What's up, Arkansas? Colby, what is up? See if you guys can see this. And when you look at them side by side, it does not look like a Civivi Baby Banter. They are shaped similarly. So if you put the Pyrite out there, which I don't have anymore because I gave it away, I'm thinking it's pretty much in the standard blade, the same size. But what's unique about this one is the way that this front choil gives you this just nice, for me, who's got a medium to large size hands with kind of average to thinner fingers, gives me an easy 4-finger grip. And if I had a bigger hand or I wanted to put a little lanyard tail on there, it would give me a lot more grip, right? Reversible clip, done very well. And I can't imagine, like I said, this knife being that expensive. So it was something that I wasn't expecting to see because I've been seeing so many YouTube things from Voss Steve. We have a guest, guys. Give me just a second to clear this. And let's welcome in when he gets set up and gives me a thumbs up. The man, the myth, the legend, John Rusk from EMP EDC. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, my friend. How about yourself? How's the stream going?
Oh, we're doing good. We just got started and MC's going a little late, so people will start pouring in here. But man, I'm glad you got a little time because I don't think you and I have ever talked shop outside of being at shows when you've got, 30 to 50 people, you've got 4 or 5 deep. And I know it's just crazy. You're saying the same thing over and over and trying to show them what you've got coming down the pipe, which is awesome. I noticed some things hit the site yesterday.
I mean, not anything crazy. I think I threw some wallets up, like these little cruisers. That's just about it. And then I sent out like an update for the Nimble production because we're still waiting on the pre-orders for that.
But you've got relatives up there, right? Those have been up there for a while?
Yeah, they've been up there for a little while. I restocked them not too long after we got back. I didn't really send an email out about them though. I just every now and then I'll do that. I'll throw stuff up on the site and just kind of let people find it. Gives a chance for people that are just finding us to actually get a hold of one of my knives.
Yeah, and guys, like I say, and I think most of the people here know that I only talk about knives and show knives that make me kind of excited, right? I've been buying knives for years to a fault because I'm a knife addict. I like sharp, cool stuff. But the fact that you've still got any of these Bowies in stock to me is amazing. I mean, you've got a Magna Cut blade, right?
Yep. Magna Cut at 63 to 64 HRC. It's really well done.
Is this a Best Tech OEM? I can't remember. I know the first.
Yeah, and so yeah, and then I got to put them together.
Well, but that makes them that much better. I mean, you're getting the best of both. You're getting the production. That's my dad trying to call his 85-year-old girlfriend. I apologize, guys.
Oh, all good.
He does it all the time, but you're getting the best manufacturing, what I feel like is overseas or among the best. And then you've got the ability with what you know from, if I know correctly, how you got started in knives with little automatics, you know how to tune them and get them to where they're special. I mean, there's no side to side in my Warncliffe or in the one that you let me use that I'll get coming back your way, but I don't have it on my overhead. But this guy, the first one I got, I mean, it's just solid as a rock. It has a truly, for me, an urban EDC blade. And then this one is slicier. I mean, I don't know if the grind's a little taller, but it's definitely slicier. And the tip is an absolute poker and a slicer.
And that's really what did it for the new one is that, the grind is just, because it's the same exact blade stock. It's the same, like the handle's the same. Everything else is the same. It's just you got that taller grind. So it comes down to so much like, the Warncliffe is great. It's a functional knife. Don't get me wrong. This is just slicier. Like there's no way around it. It is what it is. It's a thinner, finer edge, which was cool. It was something I wanted to do to just see like how thin we could get it with the same blade stock. And the only way to get it any thinner would have been to take the grind all the way up to the spine. And you know me, I gotta have my style points in there.
And I don't know if you saw. I think it comes out tomorrow, or I think Sunday, the one I borrowed from my buddy A to Z EDC, Jeff Woods. You sold him a USA made, which, if I'm not mistaken, did Axial OEM those for you?
Yep, Axial, and they opened up a new company. It's called Axis Link Manufacturing, and so they're technically Axis made it now.
So for them to do their OEM work, they're going to keep Axial brand specific and then do their OEM through a different company. Same.
Yeah, which as far as I know, right, for OEM clients right now is me and one other guy. And no offense to the rest of them, we're doing our best to keep them busy.
Yeah, and the fact that you share the name, I can understand. I know a lot of people give Ben a hard time for not sharing the name, but if you've got a good relationship, people don't realize that these are small businesses that are strategic partnerships to make it even available for a designer and a manufacturer to come out with a product that a consumer can afford. And then
that was one of the big hangups to bring in. I should have grabbed one. Actually, I probably got one. Was one of my big hangups to even bring in stuff to this one.
Hey, Miranda.
To the States was if I was going to do it, I wanted it to be affordable. I didn't want to have to make like, a $600 OTF in the States. Like I wanted, so this like 325, I think it's a great deal. This one, we haven't launched these yet. These are like a mid-tech version with a compound hand ground blade.
Now the first was a flat. The one that I think I saw was a thinner MagnaCut flat ground, very sharp. It seemed to be like a 16th or maybe an 1/8 inch longer, just by, I guess, happenstance.
So the way we did let me see if I can find it. The way we did the collaboration with Axial was it had to be kind of a collaboration. I didn't want to gum up all their manufacturing processes. I didn't want it to turn into like a 2.5 year project, even though it turned into like a 1.5 year project to get them done the first time. So a lot of the proportions of the American one are actually based off of the Axial shift.
Gotcha.
So that way they could use the same fixtures and the same tooling to essentially just make my knife without having to like change everything on their assembly line, without having to reprogram too many things. You're just basically programming the outside of the handle and you're programming the new blade, profile in there.
Right. And that makes perfect sense. I mean, when you think about, again, I don't think a lot of, I come from a woodworking. I didn't make the wood. I marketed and sold really expensive vanities, but they used CNC, and I realize how to change the tooling is where a lot of your cost comes in. So if you can come with a compromise, small businesses don't have the resources to just ramp up like the bigger companies that we see overseas that do, especially when you're trying to make that strong relationship with a domestic manufacturer. I think it's great to be able to come to those agreements and know that you can move forward down the road once you get a stronger and more supply, because a lot of people don't realize that there's only so many knives that this many people that the pro forma will keep the lights on and keep them employed will allow. I mean, it's a tough business.
Well, that and most of the shops, especially in at least the US that do it, they have their own product line. So like Axial has its own product line. So I'm kind of filling gaps for them. And I know they want to grow their OEM side eventually to bigger than it is. But that's kind of where we're at, is like getting to a point where they can do the projects fluidly. So like right now we're a little overdue for the second round of these, which is actually going to be a Warncliffe this time. It's basically the Tonto just flipped upside down. I think it looks really cool with the way we did the handle. And hopefully those will be in a few weeks. I'm supposed to get like the first production sample probably next week or the week after. Hoping to have before we're doing that Pacific Northwest Customs Invitational. I know that's a mouthful.
No, I've been seeing that. Talk about that for people who are in that part of the world. I'm not aware.
What's funny is I wasn't aware of it until like, I want to say 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago at this point. I saw a random post, and it's in Seaside, Oregon on July 20th. And the funny thing is I guess they were there last year too, which blows my mind because I'm always there that week, like every year. It's like a tradition that we go for my wife's birthday, and we stay for about 7 to 10 days down there in Seaside, Oregon, and just kind of chill at the beach and eat too much food and do all that kind of stuff. And so apparently the knife show was there last year, and then previously it's been in Portland. But there's a lot of really cool makers that go there. So you have like me, you have Arcane Design, you got Brian Brown, Kinnison, I think Hawk goes, Tactile is going to be there, and then a whole bunch of custom makers like Prince Customs, and just a bunch of people. So it sounds like a really cool show. It's only one day, and it's only like for 4 hours or 5 hours one day.
And those are so fun because they're not so many people there. You have a chance to meet people. Sorry, my cat's going crazy. But you've got a chance to actually meet people, see cool knives. Kennison's one that his knives on, and I haven't handled his production, but just watching his Instagram, his grinds are sick. I just have never really known
every time there's one, because I'm picky. I'm super picky. And like last year at Blade Show, at Blade Show Texas, he had one of those little bassets that was in like a Tiffany blue honeycomb. Like, I don't even know if it was micarta or if it was G10, but they had it up for like a lotto. I was trying to bribe him, like, let me buy it. But the cool thing about them is like no two knives are really alike.
No, and that's what you get into, which I've not taken that jump yet. But that's why I love seeing people like Ware and Kennison have a higher end production, one for people to try out, right? But the customs to me are next level, and that's why I urge anyone. And I like the Nashville Custom Knife Maker Show, the smaller shows that bring in a lot of the same people. Because you do have more access and you don't have as much of a rush if you don't go for the early bird where everybody's going to run and try to buy and resell Demco's knives is where they were this past year. That's where the rush was. But it's fascinating for me, and it's a pleasure just to be able to handle them and see the difference. And then to think, because you can look across the table and think, this guy fabricated this with very little help from machinery in a lot of cases. Just knew how to basically took everything that wasn't badass and chopped it away. And for people like me who don't have any type of skill set except to appreciate good design, I think I have an eye for what I feel is unique, good design, or at least design that I find appealing, which is so subjective. I'm amazed for people who can design or build, or more importantly, design something is unique. Before you came on, this was my first fidget knife. Lefty showed it off. And I remember I want to say this is the version 1. It might be the second round that came out.
What color is it?
It was totally silver. I've got the original backspacer.
Yeah, so second production.
Okay, because it was silver and silver. Just an amazing little knife from an ergonomic standpoint. I was so excited for the except she just stepped on my electric weird sound pad. But then the Thick Boy came out and I was absolutely blown away. I don't know why. The Sheepdog had been out and kind of caught my attention. There's no comparison there. But this knife,
no, they're both cleavers.
Yeah, but this knife is so different than the Nimble, but yet so appealing. And then you could get different scales for it, a different partner, which I think is ballsy to go into the knife business and try to work with more than I couldn't imagine.
Well, I was watching the reason for the funny thing is there's a lot of Nimble DNA in there. You got basically the same long jimping, you got the same thumb hole, you have the same gap between where the handle ends and where the choil begins. And then you got a swooping pocket clip, obviously a little bit of a different shape, but derived from that pocket clip.
Right.
I can see the backspacer, which is actually kind of modeled after an Evo backspacer, because I liked the three-dimensionality of that. And my thinking is that knowing how long this project, the Nimble project, had taken to do, and I think we'd done it twice before the Thick Boy came. I knew that I needed to break up things to multiple OEMs because the only way to keep it going, it's really hard to have everything under one roof unless you're an absolutely massive client and you can take priority over other people, which it does happen regardless of what anyone tells you.
Well, somebody can buy their way in by placing a larger order and getting.
Yeah, they'll absolutely cut you in line. 100%.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, and it makes it, I guess, more challenging to be able to plan. But how do you? And you don't have to give me the insights, but how do you communicate? And I know they're English speakers, but do you just find contacts? I guess they have a department where people that are knowledgeable like you can go in and talk to them with a strategic plan and work things out.
So you have representatives, but even with that, and I'm not a small client anymore by any stretch. And even at my level, it's really hard. I have like we had some really bad delays with the relatives and with the OTF projects that we just did. Like the relatives that I'm going to be launching again in like 2 weeks, were due in March, and they suffered massive delays. And then they got taken by customs and held for 2.5 months overseas in Hong Kong, which was really a gut punch. And then we had then that got them so sheepish they didn't want to send out the OTFs like all at once, so they were sending out like 50 or 100 parts at a time. And then because we did it that way, we had like 2 cases, which equivalent to a little over 100 knives, just vanish in shipping. Which really sucked. So it's been a rough couple of months as far as like getting projects to land on time, because I'd say the hardest part of this business is managing your time and learning how to start projects to try to get a fluid like schedule of releases. And we're finally getting to that point, and then stuff like this happens where like I'm supposed to have 500 to 1,000 knives come in every single month. And then now we're going to be in July, and I'm going to have like 2,500 knives land on my head all at once.
This is going to give you not only I've got to touch them all, make them the way they need to be, and then get them all out there. And that's the good news is I know a lot of people have been waiting, and your knives are if you take fidgety out of it, if you take very functional out of it, ergonomically pleasing, they're 100% unique. Nothing about anything I've ever seen of yours looked familiar in any way to anything I've seen. And I think as a knife designer, from what I've seen, and I don't ever hold it against people, I think because you mentioned the Evo backspacer, I didn't see that. But you saw
it's a completely different shape, but it has that same kind of frag contour, like it's 3D. It comes up out of the back of the knife.
Well, Kevin talks about the inspiration he got from the field duty for the Stouts deployment hole, which I never saw, but he did. So I realized that there's a lot of sensitivity between wanting your designs to be original, and I can tell you from a consumer standpoint that looks at a lot, you have pulled that off with excellent designs. And I think a lot of people, and I can tell from seeing you at the last 2 shows, people appreciate that, but I'm not sure how much, unless someone gets a chance to see it, feel it, touch it, they can absolutely appreciate what a wonderful knife you're designing. Because I think you can work with different OEMs and control what you'll accept from them. But the design is what makes the knife a special knife, one of a kind knife, or just a knife that's good, right? I mean, I think excellence in design is everything today, because for someone like me, I should qualify that. For someone who's not out in Alaska looking for something to stop a bear in its tracks, if I need to.
You got to stop a bear with a knife. That's a bad day.
That's a bad day. You're going to lose. It's going to be the last time you use that knife. But yeah, it's an absolute, for me, it's just, I think they're spectacular, and I just love to see what's coming out. And I know you've got a lot cooking and trying to logistically work with this, but I think it's going to probably work out great for you. I think
we're backed up. We need to start a new project. I was supposed to have started the big guys. I was hoping to have these in production by April, maybe early May, but they're not going to go into production until August, which means they're officially a 2025 project at this point.
But that is such a neat project that when I first saw it, I thought it was almost humorous. And then when I experienced it, held it at Blade Show, and saw what a great tool it was going to be, it really made me go, wow, this is more than just a really big, thick OTF. It is an amazing cutting tool.
But you
You're
know,
gonna
the
do
funny
both
thing is
both
I
things?
did this kind of not as a joke, but kind of on a lark. I was like, I want to make a really big OTF, and we're dialing a couple of little things in for production. But this is literally just like 150% scaled up, no changes other than that, just blown up Pulse OTF. And it's because I wanted to get a feel for. I'm like, we're gonna make it this big, and I want to see that, experience that, and then decide do we go 150%? Do we go 140? Do I lengthen it? Like, do we make some little tiny adjustments? And aside from contouring the handle a little bit, there really isn't any real changes because it is actually a really great knife, and it's also ridiculous.
But it fits in your pocket like a regular knife. And that's one thing about all your OTFs. The profiles are so clean that they don't take up any pocket real estate, and they carry, to me, invisibly.
Yeah, and I thought about doing some stuff with the handles, but I realized that the straight lines actually just makes it so much easier to hold and use than starting to screw around with all this crazy contouring stuff. And more power to those people that do it. But it also works. Everything has to work. So, like you mentioned about like my designs being unique, that was a huge goal that I had coming into this business. Was if I was going to do it, it had to be unique. I had to bring something into the community. I think the Nimble was a great start for that because the multi-deployment thing was just not a thing back in 2020 when we started putting these out. Like we just put out the renders and I was showing like prototypes in 2020. We did our first pre-order for them in 2021. And it was like the third project I'd done because I'd done those OTFs that you talked about where basically I was just tuning up somebody else's product. And then I did a Warncliffe blade for them. And then I built those ones too, which is so I had done my first blade design, but I hadn't done like a whole knife yet. And this was the first go at the whole knife. And one of the reasons it's so good is because I ran samples with like 3 different factories to try to see who was going to do it the best. Once we got it figured out, and QSP actually did the best. I mean, it fit the bill. It had the action that I wanted it to have more so than anybody else that built it at that time.
It's perfect. I mean, for me, it's a perfect little knife. And the
And
different,
at this point, we've done them like 8 times, and I don't think anybody could do them better than QSP does them
well, they
because
probably
they've
see
just
little
done it
things
so
that are
many times now. They know exactly what I want, exactly how. We went from having like the first couple times there was a lot of defect. I got just boxes of defective knives in the other room because I go through it. So you guys, that's part of what you're paying for. Is you're paying me to make sure that none of the crap goes out the door. And it went from being, like 15 or 20 every run to 5 to 4 to like 2 or 3. Like they get better and better and better as you move on. Same for Best Tech, same for any OEM really. The first couple runs you're going to have your highest levels of defects. Hopefully you catch it all during QC, and then they just get better and start to understand what they're making as you go.
then your relationship solidifies and it becomes, I would hope, more profitable from like lack of mistakes, lack of, better product. Even though your turnaround times when you get product, you can probably return product to some extent if it's not up to, if you can't fix it, but that's probably a nightmare.
They've said that I could send it back, but as far as I know, you're not really supposed to send knives the other way. So I just throw them in the bucket and they become parts.
Right. Use them for if you need any kind of warranty stuff. What's up, Pocket Metal? Pocket Metal, have you met John Rusk from EMP EDC? Y'all are up there in the same part of the world.
No, I haven't. I don't get out much.
This is Pocket Metal. He's one of my buddies on the West Coast, up in the sunny state of Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, so you are up here in Washington.
Yeah. We're in the Olympia area.
Okay. So you're a little south of me. I'm Tacoma.
Yeah. Yep. Just a little bit.
So we were just talking EMP EDC knives and what they've got coming out. And I was going to jump over because I thought for a while today I saw the Warncliffes were gone, but it looked like they might be back.
Somebody got squirrely and changed their mind on an order. They decided they wanted some Bowies instead. I think there's like 2 or maybe 3 Warnies up there. And they'll go. And then next Friday we're going to launch Belt Satin.
on both of these?
No, the belt satin warnings were the shipment that got stolen in transit. So those are completely gone, all of them. And then, because they were going to be just like this, it was going to be belt satin with a bronze button and a bronze clip. And then we had DLC for both of them as well. And most of the DLC were also in that part of the shipment. So for the warnings, I think I've got 10 or 15 in full blacked out DLC that are going to go up. And then I did, fortunately, luckily enough, the Damasteel finally made it here, which I don't know if you all can see that. I know the screen's really tiny right now.
Let me make you big. Hold on one sec. Let me blow you up. I think I saw brother G-Ball show off some Damasteel on a relative. Was that the same type of steel?
Yep, it's Thor Damasteel. It's the exact same pattern as the relative.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, it came out really, really good. They're not going to have the fat carbon show side. This is my personal one I built. I haven't put the rest of them together yet.
Are you gonna? So you don't know? You haven't put the patterns together, or you're just going to offer a couple of different patterns, or have you decided yet?
So I think I'm going to offer them pretty much like this. So they'll be in black handle regardless, with like all black hardware, black button. They'll have Zerkatite clips, and then the Damasteel.
Oh, that Bowie looks very, very nice.
Yeah.
We'll make you.
They came out pretty awesome, and you don't really see OTFs and Damasteel very often. I think every now and then you'll see a Microtech or a Heretic and something like that, but not from like other smaller companies. Just not something you see. It was funny. I saw my Metal Complex did a little review of the Pulse the other day, and he was reading the description of the relative for the Pulse, which I'm like pulling out my hair when I was watching it.
It was a good review, though, didn't you?
It was good. It was funny. It was like an emotional roller coaster for me as a creator, though.
Oh, I understand, and that's why I
I'm like, it's not titanium. No.
So Damasteel is a lot different. Tippy's stepping on sound pads. I apologize. Did you recognize that noise?
I didn't hear it.
Maybe it's not coming through. It's a little power down, like power weird thing, but she's protesting. But Damasteel's very different than Damascus.
Yeah, no, it's like layers. It's powder metallurgy. And I always forget the names of the two steels that they use.
But they're a brand, right? Damasteel is an actual type of steel that's very, very. I just mentioned that so the audience will know the difference.
And it's really awesome what they do. That we're going to be doing some stuff with Odin's Eye coming up and some Loki on some designs. I'm going to start kind of playing around with different, because I only do the Damasteel in like small amounts. We do like 20 or 30 pieces like of each. Like the relatives, I did like 30 of them. When they go, they go. It's not a huge priority. They're expensive as hell to make. And I think I'm starting to hit that sweet spot where I'm making just enough for the people that support me, that want the fancy stuff. Because it's definitely always slows the process. Every time we run something, the Damasteel comes last.
Well, sure, because I think that happens with everyone from Brian Nadeau to people who do a lot of knives. It's just because, especially the Odin's Eye, I forget what happened recently with the Odin's Eye coming in last. I forget which maker was talking about that, kind of apologizing for a drop or a pre-order that had taken place where everything had been filled, but that one particular pattern had been held up for reasons out of everyone's control, right? It just
it's hard to, that particular one's hard to get because they make Odin's Eye in Dama Core, where it's got Magna Cut in the middle of it, which is beautiful because the Magna Cut usually comes out looking black, like jet black on the bottom of the pattern. But that costs literally double what just Odin's Eye, where the pattern just goes through the whole steel, and it's just Damasteel, which is awesome stuff. You get like 61, 62 HRC out of it. So it's a really good functional steel in addition to looking pretty. But the pricing is crazy. And for a while there, they were trying to move over where they were only making the Odin's Eye in Damacor, and I think they finally brought it back where they're making just the full Odin's-Eye Damasteel, at least to my knowledge. I could be wrong, but I got some on order. We'll see what happens.
I think that's just so cool. G-Ball says, what's the RWL mixed with? I guess that's the RWL 34.
For the, I'd have to Google it. Last time somebody asked me, I got it completely wrong. So if I don't know it for sure off the top of my head, I won't. If you just Google Damasteel composition, it's two steels. It's like, here, I'll do it. Actually, let's do it. Let's learn together.
It's RW34 and aluminum foil.
Sounds about right.
Makes it very nice and shiny, but don't put it in your microwave.
It will throw sparks.
Yeah.
Don't say microwave. Every time somebody talks about little gross ways to prep food, I just think Mexican tacos. I don't know why. Not Mexican tacos, Mexican.
Dude, did you see the new thing with the Cheez-It that they got coming out?
See, that's not really new. The thing that's all folded up like origami with the cheese all in
it. Looks so ridiculous. No, it's like a giant Cheez-It.
It's like a giant Cheez-It. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Talk about like as soon as I bet you it doesn't even come out of the window in one piece.
Kyle Kinley, did you happen to see my video today about my favorite small knives where I sliced with
Kyle knows all about the steels.
with Kyle's Magna Cut Chickadee, and it just was so much different than the S90V Chickadee. All cut very well, and the 20CV. I mean, Kyle's edge is next level. Clean Works is where to go. I'm gonna throw him up there. Let me find his Instagram.
So if I'm reading this correctly, it's RWL34 and ATS34.
There you go.
So, which is a variation of RW. So I don't understand.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
ATS34 and RWL34 essentially the same thing. So there's got to be some little microscopic difference that allows them to separate like that.
Yeah, it's got to have a little less something that makes it not as shiny. One or the other of them, or else it would be pointless, right?
There are a couple of threads on the General Knife discussion talking about it being very good. People saying it's similar to VG10, but it's very stain resistant. Almost identical to 154 CM, but this is
that's actually my favorite steel. Like if I could get away with making my knives out of 154 CM, not CPM, 154 CM, I would totally do it, because I've had when I was just collecting before I got into making stuff, I had a few knives that I got that were 154, and I really liked the edge retention of them, and they were still easy enough to maintain. And I kind of enjoyed it from a user standpoint. And then I started collecting knives specifically that had that steel for a while.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
As a maker, I have to go with what the market kind of dictates.
What they perceive that value to be, because you and I know that the steel is not going to make the knife $100, $200 more in one way or another. You know, it's just what the market's going to perceive.
Oh, it can.
Well, sure. With the damn,
if I want to use like Van X, holy crap, is that stuff?
Yeah.
That's it's mainly the machine time, because that crap's impossible to work with.
Right. And your blades are so much more substantial. What you start with versus what you finish with. You're doing a much more. I think.
Yeah.
When I look at
they're a bit chunky.
Well, they don't end up chunky. They just start out and never get rid of that hole. I know you won't.
No, that's basically my signature. I would trademark it if I could.
I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Because I hadn't seen anybody else do a hole within a hole, if that makes sense.
It's a perfect double pill shape. It's kind of what I think of it.
It's the virtual cloaca of knives.
Yeah, exactly.
A hole within a hole.
The funny thing is how this happened. It was just a way for me to move. And I haven't actually ever talked about this, but I'll talk about it tonight. It was a way for me to move the hole down the blade a little bit without making it look stupid.
Keeping the balance.
Yeah, because think about it, if I didn't have that milled out area and the hole was just right here, it would look all kinds of out of proportion for the location. And that, for your leverage point, is so much better there than it is when the knives have the hole way, way up here, like some certain companies that have it super close to the handle where it's hard to get in there.
Well, it gives you another 3/4 inches of choice. It seems like
Yep.
when you go above and beyond the actual pill-shaped hole, you still got plenty of leverage to flick. I mean, I think those type of design elements and those type of abilities to catch with your eye, those little intricacies are what make your knives stand apart from a
Well,
lot.
you'll see a few things on pretty much all of them. You'll see the pill-shaped hole with the ball milling. Even on the ones that have the fullers, you're going to see the ball milling, in the front of the hole still. And then you'll see long jimping. You'll see a triangular pocket clip. Just little certain things that I bring across to every design. Even the OTFs, I was able to do the jimping and the hole and the pocket clip.
And ironically, the pocket clips work so freaking well. Even when you've got milling on milling, they go in and out of pocket with no problem. Without, I mean, there are none that don't. I just think it's a great clip.
I think the stiffest clip we've made has been the one on this most recent OTF. I think we should have thinned it by like a couple thousandths. But aside from that, all of them have worked just super smooth. Have you ever had any of my knives pocket metal?
I have not bought them. I have handled quite a few of them. A friend of mine who lives in my area has, I believe, damn near every one except for the autos.
That's awesome.
And so I've handled quite a few of them. And like, so I really, when it first came out, I forget the name now right off the top of my head. The first one you did, I think you just had it up.
The Nimble.
Yeah. The spacing, it was like kind of like an odd, like I have decently sized hands, but for me, I would do like a rest on the hump.
Yep, that's what it's for.
Trying to like spread, you know what I mean? But like initially, I was thinking it was more of like I have like an f5.5, so it's just like kind of first and second go right into the little grooves, but it's more of like a rest on the hump kind of situation.
Yep.
But it was just one of those things of trying to get my hand to, but yeah, I mean, I have got a chance to mess with them all. I'm just a little ridiculous when it comes to being
ridiculous. You carry several knives often. Several knives that you find appealing.
Oh, you can't insult me. It's okay. And one of the things I love about this is it's so subjective.
Yeah. I like, for instance, I can't stand frag pattern. It's
how dare you?
The first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then it was like one of those things like that just every fucking thing in the whole entire world became fragged, and I was like, that's just, I can't. It's just, it was.
I'm not gonna lie, it kind of bummed me out but when I did the first one, the only place I'd ever seen frag pattern was like on small drop random makers monkey edge kind of special knives.
Yeah.
That you could never get. Right. And so I did it, and then we actually stopped doing the frag for almost an entire year because of exactly what you said. I started seeing same reason I stopped using the M390. Everybody and their freaking brother was using the M390, and I'm like, this is getting overdone. It needs to, we got to change some stuff.
They all love to hate me because I have modern knives, but like I was showing earlier, I'm primarily where my love is in the game is in slip joints. And when you said 154, this is an Albers Cutco made in New York with 154 CM, or not CM, just 154. But yeah, so I just threw that in there, and I just got this from T-Dog Tactical Terry. Sent me a little gift today with his beautiful leather work, some little matching wallet. Yeah, it's fucking.
That's a nice little card wallet.
So nice. Anywho, but yeah, between that, like I really liked the Bowie style one, but for me, like when it came out, I was at this much in the wallet for throwing money at knives that I didn't fucking need. It's after you have like 4. Honestly, it's like after that, it's just you're just buying shit just to buy shit. And at the time, the money was not there. Either that or there was like a GEC drop, and that's always gonna
take precedence.
Take precedent with me.
So we all have to be like, I've got cases full of the people I collect behind me here.
Yeah, it's that's this my deal. But no, I mean I've never I know I'm not an auto person. I think they're 90% of them are fucking stupid as hell looking because they all just are slab rectangles. Up until I saw someone with that damn lightsaber looking fucking thing from the guys who did the garage door opener. that thing that looks like a lightsaber was pretty legit. Although putting that in your pocket's got to be the stupidest thing to try to put in your pocket with that fucking guard on it.
Definitely gimmicky, but it was fun. I went over and talked to Brian and checked that out at Blade Show.
But yeah,
I should have grabbed one of his new auto side openers. It just didn't hit me. Right, like I have a couple of his
double action side openers, the ones that open and shut.
Yeah. No, not the double action. If he had those for sale, I would have bought one. I tried to get an apart with one of the protos he had there. I'm like, dude, just like let's just make a trade. But no, the single action where it's the M fire, I want to say. Oh, yeah, super cool little knife.
Rub the little handle and make the little handle rotates. Is that the one you're talking about? The out the
and
front?
Then you pull the button down and then it kicks it out, or you can flick it open.
I got it.
Like you can. It's double action. Or dual action.
That's scary that if you can flick open an auto.
But the thing is, it's not really an auto; it's magnetic. So, like when you pull the button down, you're just taking two magnets out of equilibrium, and that kicks it out. And if you don't pull the button down, then that same magnet acts like a detent. So it's kind of a cool mechanism.
It's wizardry. I mean, some of the things he's made that are not even knife related. He did a little lighter looking thing that shot a little metal spike out. I don't know if y'all ever saw that.
Yeah, I saw him showing that off.
He used a CO2 cartridge, and then he would just hold it, and he could shoot a little like projectile across the room through a Coke can. It was just so cool, so unneeded, but yet it was kind of like making a fun.
I like the original Factor.
I think that was the best one.
Oh, the garage door opener. Yeah, that's the.
Yeah.
That thing is just absolutely. The same kid that I was saying had all of shit ton of your knives. He has, I think, now 2 of those.
Yeah, I mean it's hideous, but at the same time it's awesome.
Yeah. I understand. It's definitely like some of the things he's come out with since then. I think are far cooler looking, and it's one of those things where everyone just loved that when it came out, and then. Plus, I don't honestly watch a lot of knife content anymore, but I remember when that came out, it was like the biggest fucking thing ever. And then I've seen other ones, and then I don't really see anyone blowing smoke up his ass for those. I don't know why.
I think because this has that magnetic detent, like the axis lock is actually like a magnetic, like a disc magnet that engages. And is the detent, and then I probably can't get the thing. Then there's magnets down here that force the blade to center. It's just stupid. There's so many little things. I think that's why this knife got so much hype, and honestly, well-deserved hype. Like it's a fun knife. It ends up in my pocket at least a couple times a month. And I have to actively try to carry my stuff because at this point I have so many designs out. I'm my biggest fan. So I've always, of course, carried my own knives because it would be kind of bad if I wasn't, like if I didn't like them that much. But there's a few people's knives that find their way into my pocket at least a few times a month, and this is one of them. I've got a Sparrow Knife Co. Strix. I carry that thing often.
What a great knife.
I've got one of his customs too, which is possibly one of my favorite knives in my entire collection. And then I got a BBM from Nick Chuprin, which that was like a grill.
When you went with one of his customs, did you go with the same like style, the Strix, or did you go with one of the other? I'm just curious.
Strix by far is my favorite knife he makes.
Yeah, he makes that little like recurve kind of Warren Talon kind of blade thing too. That's kind of interesting, but the blade's real short on it.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's my Strix.
Oh, right on.
That's one Lefty's got a left hand.
No, what's the bolster? Is the bolster just the same thing? Is it just got like that, like kind of worn finish on it that he does? That kind of
yeah. And it's like it's a brown micarta. This was the first year I went to Blade Show. Greg was right across from me. And I literally bought this before the show started. But I noticed he didn't have a ton of knives. So I'm like, I'm going to buy this, but just keep it, let people fondle it until Sunday, and then I'll just pick it up from you. So that way, if you sell, because I know you're going to sell all these, the 5 or 6 customs that you brought.
Yeah.
And this way you'll at least have something that you can show and talk to. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
My buddy,
and they broke it in for me.
Exactly. Got a good and worn, a little bit of my Carta hand on it, which is just Blade Show lore, right? But my buddy A to Z EDC, a local buddy of mine, who's I'm very fortunate because he buys knives that I can't, or he gets them when I don't. And he picked up a Strix on the secondary and the production Strix, and it's just an absolutely wonderful knife. I only was able to borrow it. That was one where he kind of limited me to 48 hours. Such a good knife.
That's hilarious.
Usually it's a week. People let me hang on to him for a week. He was like, cut paper and you can have it for a couple of days. I was like, we'll call it an overview then.
That's funny.
Yeah, those came out really good. I'm sad that he's not doing the production stuff anymore. He's strictly going to do his customs, and then he's got the license deals.
That's what he said the first time, though. The first time he did a production knife, he said he's probably only going to do one, and then a year later he comes back out and does it again.
Why would a maker, and I can understand you don't want to keep the market saturated, but they're different price points, different buyers. What would be the drawback if you've had?
Because if the knife's decent enough on a production level, then why is the majority of the people going to try to save up to buy that custom?
Because
I don't think
that may not be it, but that's got to be a little bit of a.
I can see that because
I don't think that's really Greg's hang up on it. I think if he could do it American made, I think he'd probably run a production again. Just based on my conversation with him, I think it's more about he wants stuff to be like made here, made in America. He's Coast Guard. He's big. He's a great guy. And he bought a lot of the machines, so he's got his own CNC now. So I think you're going to see his customs ramp up, and I don't know. I hope he does bring the production stuff back one day, because like I make stuff here in America now. Like we have our first American OTF. We're working on our first American folder, and I'm going to bring a sizable portion.
Can have an American-made knife here, why couldn't he?
It took me 3 years to get an OEM that could do just this one knife, and I still haven't even seen the prototype for the folder yet. We're just working on it.
I'm just mentioning the fact that
it's really hard. Like, and you can ask it shouldn't be so hard. Like, I'll tell you guys a story, and don't take this as a bash on anybody's company. So I went to a company, might have been named Hogue. We're talking to the rep, and I was like, hey, I'd like to do my OTS with you guys, possibly some folders. And at first he was like, well, if we were going to do them, you'd have to place a really big order. And I'm like, okay, how much is a big order? He's like, 1,000 to 2,000 knives. And I'm like, okay, done. We can do that. And his eyes kind of got big. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, really, we can do that. And then he's like, well, it's going to take like 12 months to get through the first, the prototyping, then the first project. And I'm like, it's great. We got to start somewhere. And then he's like, well, 18 months. And I'm like, I want to bring stuff here. So let's just tell me what the deposit's going to be, and let's just kind of get the ball rolling. And then he's like, look, man, we're just not going to do it.
He just didn't want to do it.
He wanted me to be the asshole.
Yeah, he wanted you to say that this bar's too high for me to cross. So I can't.
He tried to do that, but I mean, I know how many knives they sell in a year.
They don't want competition in knives that are from America.
No, they make the Boker stuff. They make the Kershaw. They make that live wire and some other stuff for Kershaw.
So what the fuck is his deal? Like, he just doesn't want to say no to people?
I don't know. I don't know that rep could have given me a yes, but I didn't like that. I didn't like the little string along tactic. I'm just like, dude, just yes or no, or if it's going to be 18 months, just take a little deposit from me, get me locked in. I'll send you the design files, and we get to it when we get to it, because my business will still be here, and I'll still want to make stuff with you. I can't tell you how many other times with other companies that you would know very well in America. I've had similar experiences, if not worse experiences.
And you're not alone. You're not alone. I mean,
I
I
know
know from talking to others that they beat their heads against the wall. And I think it comes down to it's hard enough to get a knife maker to use CNC machines to produce knives as opposed to parts for the aerospace engineer or somebody else who'll pay more for less. But you get these specialists that have a little bit of, they're always probably behind on their timelines, and they're answering to someone, whether it's their owners, their board, and they're having to always look at their numbers, production versus what they're bringing in. And just the ability to manage projects. I think one thing, and people will hate me for this, but it's okay. But I do think the Asian market has shown that they can do a lot of really incredible things with working with small designers, big designers, and producing very nice knives for a fair price.
I mean, there's a reason I work with Best Tech. It's because they do a really amazing job. I haven't worked with Riot yet. I'm looking at doing that because it looks like their production lead time has shrunk all of a sudden down to like 4 months.
It seems that they've lowered their pricing standard, or I'm seeing something wrong. I'm seeing a lot lesser priced Riot made knives coming out from independent USA designers than I used to ever see.
I have a theory behind that. I think they're trying to pull in Best Tech customers because Best Tech doesn't actually make my knives. They pay a little shop somewhere in Guangdong to make them, right?
Right. They're kind of like a bring it together.
They're a middleman.
Right? Yeah, a logistical type of company, which does a very fine job on all different types of knives and all different values of knives.
I will say it's hard to make a budget knife with them. I wanted to make a budget-friendly knife with them that I should have been able to get done and have a retail under $100, and it can't be done through them.
Are you
at least not for me?
Right, right. I'm sure there are other manufacturers that have done good work that probably could meet that.
Concept. We're gonna work with Concept on it because I'm talking about like a $99 to $120 EMP EDC knife that looks like a $300 EMP EDC knife. Like that's kind of the only way I would do it.
Very cool.
Yeah, if I'm gonna do a budget knife, I don't want the folks that pick it up to feel, other than the fact that it has a G10 or aluminum handle, like feel in any way like it's anything less than everything else I make. So that's been a big goal. And it's going to be next year. I was hoping to launch them Christmas this year, but like I said, we got so far behind on our projects that everything just got pushed 3 months down the road.
But I think that's an exciting endeavor. I mean, to do something like that. Because again, what it does for me and a lot of people like me that are probably taking this hike through the knife journey, it's kind of a gateway experience into buying additional knives from a maker that you really start to like and the designs that you really start to appreciate. And then you spend more money on them because you save up instead of buying a knife every other week. You save up for a couple of months and buy one. Just I think,
and it is a knife we're going to do a premium version of too, but we're going to launch with the budget version, and I think you guys are going to go nuts for it. I can't wait to start showing it. Like it's one of those things. It's so fucking cool. I can't even show it because if I do, everyone will just sit on their hands.
So if it really sucked ass, you would show it? That's a very confusing statement.
What?
I said, so if it sucked ass, you would show it? Because that's a really confusing statement.
Not if it sucked, but like what I'm saying is like there's levels of like because every now and then like I'll come up with an idea that's really, really cool. Like when I came out with the Relative, I didn't show those until it was time because the second I got the prototypes in my hand, I just knew I was like, this is a winner. This is a freaking winner. And then the market's so fickle sometimes. Like I have to try to predict and plan. I'm planning 6 months, 12 months. I mean, I'm planning to like this point almost till this time in 2025, or actually probably September 2025. So I have to try to plan, get things started, and like the projects that I'm going to drop in May and June, I have to start in December and January. So
right, yeah.
If there's something that I'm going to launch in October, November, if I start showing it, well, if the things that come in May and June don't sell, then I can't pay for the things that come in September. Like I got to continually sell the stuff that we're coming out with, and because we're trying to move completely away from pre-orders. I might get to the point where we only do like one pre-order a year. We did one pre-order this year. I think that's going to be it. I may sneak another one in, but I don't think so. I don't really like doing them. They served their purpose when we had to start the business up, and I really appreciate everyone's amazing support on those. But they're kind of a logistical nightmare at the same time. You know, because you can't control the end process. It's very fluid, the manufacturing. Like, it's all supposed to happen in 90 to 120 days, and it generally takes 120 to 180 days, depending on the size of the production. Like, if you're making 1,000 knives, it just takes however long it takes.
Unless then there's another global pandemic. Yeah,
that was awesome. The funny thing is, I started this business because of the pandemic. I got fired.
That's a great leeway. I don't know how much time you have, but I think your story, your segue into doing this more than just a hobby, is fascinating. And it's an American story that I think is really uplifting. Share just a little bit of how the pandemic affected EMP EDC's launch.
So I'll do it. I'll do the bridge version. So I was working for a big corporation, and I lost my job. And when the pandemic started, so we're in 2020, and instead of looking for another job, which really you couldn't do back then, like even unemployment was like you don't have to look for a job, right? I decided that I wanted to make my own job. So, I went to the family and said, I want to open up a knife and EDC shop. Originally, the plan was just to buy like Benchmades and other companies, and I was just going to make an online retailer. And I realized pretty much immediately that I was way too poor to pull that off. So let's just start your own company. And we found that little company, Nemo Knives, and did the OTF collaboration where they built them, I tuned them and assembled them here. And we opened up our website in September. Well, I had never built a knife. The only thing I'd ever done before was collect knives. So I just, spent my extra shekels on collecting knives and hanks and EDC gears and taking my little pictures and posting them on Instagram and kind of that side of the hobby. And I'd never run a website, never made a knife, never marketed anything. Like I always just worked for places that had, processes and things in place for you to just kind of do. And it really showed, because when we opened up our website in September, it was crickets. Like we didn't get like a single sale for about 3 weeks. And then we sold like one knife. And then like a week later, we sold like one more knife. And then it was last week of September, first week of October-ish, somewhere in that range. It was a Saturday morning. I woke up and we sold like 50 knives overnight, like when I slept. And I thought it was a glitch. I'm like, fuck, somebody ordered too many. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get some email. Somebody's going to email me and want to cancel all this. And no, somebody, the person who bought like the second knife, he put a little review up on Reddit. And enough people read it, and it just kind of took off from there. I'd started working on the Nimble with QSP and with Best Tech, and had started to show renders of it. And we got our first prototypes for the Nimble, which was, where'd it go? The Frag one in December, and I started showing them. And then we opened up a pre-order for them in March. And it did okay. We sold between 30 and 40 knives on the pre-order with stragglers. But we'd done our homework. I'd done the OTFs 2 times, and I'd been saving up, knowing that the goal was to run this knife in production and start making my actual own product. And so the knives got here. I got a few knives sent out ahead of the mass production, and we sent them out to some reviewers. And in May, when they all got in, we delivered all our pre-orders. The following Saturday, we opened up sales. And because of all the reviewers had just raved about it, because multi-deployment was such a new concept, having a knife with your front flipper, your back flipper, and your spidey hole at that point was actually a new thing. I didn't even realize it at that point. I was just making a knife because I'm ADD as hell, and I wanted something I could fidget with like a weirdo. We sold out the entire production in 2 days. So it was like 300 knives we sold in like Saturday, Sunday, and I think we sold the last 2 on Monday morning.
That's just outstanding. And you knew you had something that resonated with the buyers.
I didn't think that was I had no clue that was gonna happen. Like I thought it was going to take us several months. I'm like, if I can just sell half of these, I'm going to be more than thrilled. And then it got crazy to like where we had the next pre-order and it sold out in 2.5 minutes. We sold like 450 knives in 2.5 minutes. I was getting calls from my bank and shit. Like, what's going on here? Why is this so much money coming in? Which is crazy. Like all these little problems that you don't think that success brings. And it just kind of took off from there because we did the second run of the Nimbles, we did the Thick Boy, the Nimble X, the Nimbles W, the Tonto versions of them, and it was just crazy the response to the Nimble line in particular. It's still the most popular thing that I've done. I think we sold about 6,000 Nimbles.
That's amazing. And the Nimble W is the only one I do not have, only because I wasn't buying them at that time. But the Nimble X is great. Where did I put my Nimble X? Oh, here it is.
How come when I comment, it comes up as your name?
It shouldn't.
Yeah, it came up as your name for some reason.
It said Pocket Metal. Hey, Leatherworks. Oh, I let me go down to the new one here.
Did it? Because when I clicked it, and then I might have to use the pop-up chat. Someone was like, all them COVID bucks being sent, and I was like, man, come on, how much money did people actually get? Like $50? That was not enough to do jack shit with.
Oh no, it was a joke. I think I got even on unemployment with the extra stuff, I think like $300 or $400 a week. Which
I mean,
I have a family before. I've got 2 kids and a wife, and I'm broke and I'm starting a business. Like literally, we took like the last 10 grand we had and created this.
Yeah, your payroll goes away. I mean, I dealt with that probably 4.5 months ago, just because I had a corporate standardization where they took out a whole tier of management across the whole enterprise. This national company, big company. I won't say their name, but so I'm doing it independently, which is fine, but it's just a totally different game, right? I don't have that steady income, benefits, and all that. But it's just kind of makes you just understand that things change and things can change at any time. You got to have a backup plan.
Yeah, there was no backup plan.
But that takes
it was plan A or fail.
Well, and a lot of times that's the type of catalyst it takes if you've got the right type of makeup and the right type of ideas to actually get an idea off the ground. It takes that type of stress to make you say, okay, damn it, I'm going to go with this. If things stayed comfortable, you might have just dabbled more.
Yeah, I mean, I was to the point where I didn't want to go start over somewhere else. I was an executive for the company I worked for. And the idea of going and starting over for someone else, and honestly, I was never really that happy in the work I did. It paid the bills, it took care of the family, right? So you're the man. That's what you have to do.
Right.
But there's no reason you can't enjoy doing it. I think that the second thing that kind of really pushed me is that I do have kids. And I didn't want to have to tell them the story of like, you can be anything you want, and then look at me and go, but you didn't.
Right. You conformed to what a society, at least when we were being raised, would make us think we needed to conform to. And I think my hats are off to anybody who starts their own thing and really commits to it, and to see it be successful. I just cheer from the sidelines because I think it's awesome. I mean, I think it's what it's really all about, because there's so many cliches, do what you love and the money will follow. And so few people either take that initiative or follow through on it and see success. And when you see someone see success, and after doing it from what I would consider would be a really stressful time with COVID and the change in your lifestyle, because I've recently experienced it too, just hats off to you. I think it's a great thing, and it's fate in a way that the timing worked out the way it did. Nobody had seen the timing, everything just kind of, if you look back on it, maybe it'll take another 5 years, but maybe it'll be a little bit more apparent that the timing was just right, lightning in a bottle kind of thing.
No, you're exactly right. I think it was a perfect storm. It was a time where people were primed to buy stuff from websites that were popping up, like Shopify sites and stuff like that. We're getting more trusted. Folks were really heavily engaged with social media. The social media crackdown there's another thing we should talk about, is that social media is becoming ridiculously restrictive to our community as a whole. I think
just a real quick thing. Now, you have a business, so I understand you having a professional site. I do not have a business. My knife Instagram shit is just, for fun, right? So I did a little test because a lot of people that I know, such as Javon and other people who are, do YouTube channels and shit like that, for whatever reason, they ask you, they're like, hey, do you want to have a professional account? And everyone's like, yeah, eventually you could monetize it, right? But if your game is not to monetize on Instagram, or you don't have a business where you can actually like link to sell shit, you should not do that because the rules are not the same. So I've never had anything restricted on Instagram until one day, just to see what would happen. I said, let's switch my account to professional account. Instantly got barred where I got the little thing saying no one can see this shit except for people that follow you. And they started like taking down, like saying this picture's no good. You got to get rid of this. You got to get rid of this. All I did was switch my account back into 24 hours. All those things were gone. So it's for the most part, if you're trying, because they think you're trying to make money because it's a professional account, because why else would you switch? And they're only going to pay you if you follow their rules where they can make money off of you.
But it comes down to ad-friendly guidelines. And I think the fact that
Coca-Cola may not want to sponsor, accounts that have certain things in them. But, so just once again, you're in a business. I get it. But if you're not in a business, stop thinking you got to have a professional account on Instagram and just be a regular person.
I tried the thing where to switch it back to a personal account, and it didn't. I left it that way for a whole month, and it didn't do a damn thing.
And they still had you barred.
Well, you got a lot of followers, right?
And you know what the screwed up thing is every time I appeal I don't delete posts for them.
I just do any of that.
I just appeal them, and it takes it used to take like a day. Now it takes like a week because we're not the only community having. There's other people that they're doing like food stuff, and because there's a fork and a knife on the fucking plate, they're getting screwed.
I mean, you're getting taken down by a robot, for fuck's sake.
It's a robot, yeah. It sucks. It's a broken robot, but it's weird that every time I appeal, those posts get cleared, and then the robot just chooses 5 more.
Exactly, and it's an ongoing thing that just goes forever. That's what I noticed, that it would be perpetuity. Come up like within 24 hours or 12 hours of when mine got cleared. I'd exhale, and then I'd have 5 more.
The moment I make the next post is when it happens. So like if I get cleared, I'll make another post. And usually the ironic thing is the post I make isn't what gets flagged. It's something from last month.
Right. That looks like everything else you've posted. I could find no discerning difference in what was flagged.
I don't say stale. I don't say pre-order. I don't say like available. I steer away from all these stupid words on Instagram. Which is silly, like, because I'm just an American selling something that's completely legal in my country.
Right, for sure. I mean, that's 2 different. So you're like talking about what's legal in your country. Once again, that's a private like entity. So they have, you know what I mean? So I'm not like saying you're not right, but at the same time, it's not like this is a freedom, a First Amendment fucking argument or anything like that. But secondly, since it is a robot doing it, and you got to think how many people are posting. Javon posts like 12 times a fucking day, and that's just one person. So if you multiply that times the billions of people using this dumbass fucking shit, it's like a lot for no human could, like, they could have every person in America working for Instagram, and they still wouldn't keep up with how many people are posting daily.
I get it.
It's fucking impossible.
Makes me want to go to TikTok, and I think I can do it from the website and see how Metal Complex still has an account, because he's evidently grown his TikTok. He started trying to do knife content over there, which I heard.
Is he doing dances?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but
he just does like flick a knife content.
He stole your stick, Javon.
But I didn't think you could open a knife on Instagram or TikTok. I thought that was instant.
I promise you, he does.
Yeah,
I've seen it because I tried to do TikTok. I got basically screwed immediately. But
well, I have a hard time signing on the app, their terms of service, because I rarely read them. But I made the mistake of watching Joe Rogan's episode on TikTok's terms of service, so I can't help but focus in and read them. And they're just so overreaching, but I'm sure they're doing it just for the same reason any other company does, in case your phone does connect with your work computer. They don't want to be liable for it.
I just don't get it. Like I get they're a private company and they can do whatever they want, but I feel like, especially with like Facebook and Instagram, they really entice small businesses to come here, advertise your stuff. And again, like for like 2.5 years, we were getting thousands of impressions and sometimes hundreds of thousands of impressions on a single post, which is like, that's how you grow a business with. And then you go, okay, well, if you're not going to let me show posts, can I pay you guys to boost a post? No. Can I run an ad? No. My Facebook's ad account is like the second I linked my website to it, they locked it, and they locked it in a way I can't remove my website. I can't remove my Instagram. I can't. So they literally made all of everything I built up with them completely useless, and it can't be removed. So I can't create a new ad account and just not have it go to my website and have it go to like a landing page somewhere else with like a t-shirt on it, something stupid. Like there's no way to get around it. Yeah, and it takes that whole audience of 22,000 people. It takes it away, which as a business, like we're still very small. Like we're 4 years in, but we're in our infancy. Like this business can be so much bigger than it is. And like I want to grow it. I want to hire people. Then I can just design the knives and play with them. That's my end goal.
But once again, it's like how much of your business do you think benefited in the beginning from IG?
100%.
So you know what I mean?
3 IG posts, no joke. 3 IG posts, I could sell 500 knives.
Right. And so I'm not like taking any sides here, but clearly they have the upper hand. You know what I mean? It's like you can't go. There's not an alternative.
Nope.
There's nothing else. There's been, since Instagram has started, there's been hundreds of other things trying to become the next Instagram, and it's never worked. There's one right now, specifically for artists, because that's primarily what I'm not that at all. Interested in, but it's never going to be, because this was the beginning. That's what started it all. It's like, so while I'm not saying I agree with what they're doing, and I do agree that a lot of it's absolutely asinine,
it's their playground. It's their sandbox.
It is what it is.
And now it's unfortunately meta, because I don't know if y'all remember, I do. Back in the day, if you had X amount of followers on Facebook, most of them would see your post. But that started getting limited more and more.
Oh, that was limited. Like, fucking decade ago, it stopped working that way.
Right, when they monetized.
Yeah, it's been screwed. Both of them have been screwed. I mean, Instagram, as soon as they switched from the it going chronologically into this random shit, and then every third post is an ad for fucking something that no one ever needed.
I don't know if y'all have noticed today, but I noticed it might have started yesterday. Now on Instagram, like today, I saw 4 runts. It was a post from Protect Knives, and it said sensitive content warning. So instead of it just being a knife post, and maybe it was just on my phone, I'm trying to find one, it says sensitive post, and when you click on it, it's just something like this. But you know how they have to blur it out before you see somebody step into a pole and get taken out?
Yeah, but there can be a lady boy with her balls hanging out, and they'll show you that right away.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's not considered deemed inappropriate content. I mean, I get suggested so many models that want to be my friends that also have what they call
those are like 500 accounts. You can block those every day and send. It's a new account every time. Every 5. It's like robot shit. It's not real.
It's
but they're recommending it. That's the thing.
Yeah, Instagram's recommending it. And not only that, and this is just a totally different subject, but for a while when those scam websites were popping up on the internet, Google was recommending them organically. So you'd search a knife, and I watched it on Tri-States Live once, a different company. I had it happen once. I actually fell for it because it was so early in the morning. But you'd put in an organic search, and then this knife site would come up that would be like Fox Knives when you were looking for Fox, but it wasn't the right website, and it was a total scam site. I reported it to Google. It stayed up for like 2 weeks. And then when we were on Tri-State Slav a couple of weeks later, there was another site. So as weird as it is for knife companies to get out there, it seems that scammers have a pretty easy way to get in and get out. I guess because they don't want to play by the rules.
Where you have the "we don't sell spoons" guy. You guys seen that?
Mm-mm.
You haven't seen that ad?
Mm-mm.
Have you, Pocket Metal, seen the
No.
"we don't sell spoons"? And they're selling like an obvious like Microtech clone, but every time he does this, a spoon comes out. It's like an Australian guy who's like, "It's a dangly doo-wopper doohickey that'll blow your socks off, but it's not a spoon." Like,
so is it just like he edited the video to have a spoon pop out instead of the blade? Is that what it is, or is it literally an auto spoon?
no, they sell auto knives, but in the ad, it's an auto spoon. And the name of the company, the literal name of the company is "We Don't Sell Spoons."
So when you go to the website,
creative workaround.
I know about 3 years ago, Google, because we were able to work with a couple of companies in the business that I was in, which was advertising, that had ranges, pew ranges. And all of a sudden their Facebook account got locked down and they had a huge opening coming. And so we were able, even though Google has it considered a prohibited category, we were able to utilize the creative to where it wasn't in your face. And it was, the name of the company was Bullet and Barrel. So it wasn't like a PP place necessarily, but about a year into their campaign, Google started checking websites. So I wonder how the spoon plays when your landing page, wherever your ad goes.
Because they obviously have a Facebook ad account and it's working for them, and they have nothing but knives on their site.
Yeah.
And it's weird because, like I said, the second I set up my Facebook ads account, and then, you link your website to it. And literally I link my website to it. 2 minutes later, I get an email, your Facebook ad account has been disabled. And like I went over it with my buddy Joe, who's like in advertising, and I was like, dude, I haven't ever run an ad, never even done anything, because it got locked down immediately. And he's like, well, let me take a look at it and see if we can't because there's ways to get it unlocked and removed. And he's like, they have your account isn't just disabled, but you're not allowed to edit. Like if you try to edit anything, it's like this account has been restricted from any edits or changes. So like you can't remove an email, you can't remove an Instagram, you can't remove because normally you could go and just strip your information back off things and then try to use it elsewhere.
Right.
But they made it so it's like, nope, this information is absolutely effed.
That's just, again, like Pocket Metal says, it's their rules, but that doesn't make them right or any easier to tolerate. It just sucks.
Also, you'll never know why any particular account has a problem versus, like you said, Spoon Man or what the shit ever. That's still, Blade HQ somehow still showing shit. I don't know if they've had problems off and on. Austin at Traditional Pocket Knives recently just had an issue this week right before a drop. I saw that was the first time he had an issue, but
we just need Section 230 reform. Like they need to stop being protected as non-publishers, because by acting the way they're acting, they're effectively becoming a publisher, not a platform. And then rights do apply. And they do have liability for these kinds of censorships and not being even-handed. Like you gotta screw everybody, you gotta screw nobody.
I don't see. It's never happened to Facebook.
No, because they have literally in law they're treated as a utility when they're not. But a utility is open to everyone. Like if I want to call somebody and talk about knives on my phone, they can't just shut my phone line off, right?
Right.
They're being treated the same way, but they do shut your phone line off essentially.
When you watch the hearings for this shit and the people literally don't know basic stuff, that are the ones in, doing, they're like, how does the email work again? We're far away from.
And all we had to do was watch last night and you realize
it's fucking insane.
Yeah. No, I know that the odds of it happening are slim to none, but I can hope.
Absolutely.
All I'm saying is, like, the way it stands now, there's not really any way of fucking changing. There's no rhyme or reason. They don't have to tell you shit. It's just the way it is.
Well, one thing that works is people that follow you can still see your posts. So I'm always a big proponent in sharing people's shit. And I think if more people shared people's stuff on their stories, A, it's showing the algorithm that you don't find it offensive, but B, it's giving it more reach, more organic
Do
reach.
you honestly? Because I mean, I don't. I watch Stabby's reels, and that's about it. She's fucking hilarious. I watch Stabby's reels.
Give me 2 seconds, guys.
I'm not watching reels.
Oh, I scroll through reels, so I'm one that does watch them. So I'll scroll through reels and get suggested between, you know, monkeys and diapers and weird animals. Speaking of weird animals, they're not there yet, but and cats and knives. I'll spend a lot of time scrolling through reels. I waste probably more time on reels than anything.
Oh, okay. So I mean, from people you subscribe to, like, are you out there watching?
The top five,
any random person in the chat.
You know how the one on the top, how it shows you like 5 or 6 reels at the top.
Right.
Of your phone? I'll watch those usually. I usually click through those when I open Instagram. Like I see Raminoids when they're up there. I see Pocket Milk.
I make them occasionally, but I don't watch other people's.
I've got affiliate links that when I look at the traffic, now I'm not getting conversions, but I'm getting clicks. But the clicks are coming from my Instagram stories more so than my YouTube descriptions. I don't know why. But I will have, like, when I put up a story, and I've only got, I think, 4,600 something followers on Instagram. But when I put up a story, for some reason, a lot of people see it and heart it. I don't know if you can see how many people see it, but I can see how many people heart it. When I got rid of my professional account, I lost the ability to see that.
Yeah, I don't know if it shows how many people. It still shows how many people like it, obviously, but maybe not how many people are actually viewing it.
No, it doesn't show what the exposure is.
Yeah, you can't see the impressions anymore if you do that.
But it's just so easy to do for me. It takes no time and no thought. It's just literally pushing a button. If I'm scrolling down the timeline and I see something that I want to share, it's easy to share it. And tag somebody and put a link up to their website.
I mean, that's kind of what it's been reduced to for the moment.
How they get away with it, because I see that little jagweed always trying to sell me shit on Knife Center. He's there all the fucking time. Obviously, he didn't get fucking.
I don't do
on Instagram or on YouTube.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't.
Not John C. Riley, but the other one.
Who is the other one?
I don't remember his name.
You're not talking about the Smoky Mountain Knife Works guy, because he's
Knife Center, man. The little dude with the glasses that looks like he's trying to do that coach aesthetic.
Who is that?
I don't know what his name is. He's some little guy. He got real fucking pissed at me one time because I said, "You don't have a trustworthy face. I wouldn't buy anything from you."
There's a lot to be said for the size of the creator. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, somehow the big companies are still able to get their shit out there and aren't having problems. So clearly there's a road that,
there's definitely a road.
There's a way it's working for some people.
Well, I know
Benchmade is still out there posting shit, and I've never seen them complain. I mean, maybe I missed their complaint, right? Like Benchmade, Spyderco, all these big companies are still fucking flying shit on Instagram.
No, you'll see Shop Now on some of their posts sometimes.
Yeah,
like where they can actually link from the post right to their site.
Well, that's what I was saying about like Knife Center. Knife Center, their whole page is that. Do you buy what you saw recently on our Instagram? It like goes right through. So there's a way to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, not for me. I can't do that shit.
No, I don't think. I think
if I figure it out, I'll let everybody know.
It's pay to play.
The thing is, like,
exactly.
I advocate for everyone. Like, when this shit started happening, like, I share other people's posts and stuff all the time. It doesn't necessarily benefit me as a person, like as a company, I guess, to do that. But I think that it's just good karma to do so. Like, I put Arcade and Brian Brown's thing in my story today. I'm part of that artisan tool collective to trying to get, we're actually going to hire lobbyists to try to push on this stuff. I don't know if it'll ever have any effect or not, but at least we can be a little bit of a thorn in their side to try to change some of this stuff, or at least get clarity on what exactly the rules exactly are, so I can exist within them.
Within them, right? So we can try to conform, right? It's hard to conform when you don't know what you're.
There's clearly not a real rule set though when it comes to this shit. That's what I'm saying, because otherwise people would not be certain companies, bigger brands and shit are doing it. It's just,
Well, one thing that's interesting, if you look at the bigger creators, Metal Complex, I know is mentioned several times. He's got a manager. He's got a YouTube moderator or YouTube in between. So I'm
right.
like,
if you have enough followers, you can get direct access to real people.
Yeah.
If you're a small guy, you don't get that shit. It's the same thing with
probably
YouTube.
get the same ability to make different deals because the playground that makes the rules wants money too, and they look for ways where the monetization makes the most sense. Not necessarily.
I know myself and pretty much every other company I know that are friends with, we would all happily pay to boost post. I would love to, but they won't take our money.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it's unfortunate that I think, and maybe they wouldn't take a boosted post from Knife Center, but the rules are different for bigger companies. They are. They seem to get more leeway. Bigger creators get more leeway, and it's
clearly not the content, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's not the content. It's not the content.
It's kind of like when everyone's like, "Oh, they're against the knife community." No, they're not against the knife community, because clearly some of the content they're quite fucking happy with, like it being out there all the time. It's merely who it is, not the content.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot to be said for that. I mean, if you're not making any ripples, it doesn't matter if you're just a regular user. If you're somebody that's super big that they think their platform benefits from, and then other people kind of have to navigate the waters, which is unfortunate. But again, there are ways around it. I think you still can't do search, can you? Certain like at Google, because I think it's still prohibited. Hopefully that'll change.
They just go, you're a weapon, so no. And it's so stupid. Like, I'm a weapon. I'm the world's oldest fucking tool.
Yeah,
is what I saw. Have you ever eaten a steak? Have you ever buttered your bread? It's a knife.
Yeah, cut a sandwich. And if you look at the stats.
I mean, not to be that guy, but I think a rock is technically the world's.
Yeah, I get that, but pointed sticks. Yeah,
they weren't as effective. I guess you could get a pretty sharp rock. They were pretty good with those. They stuck them in plenty of cavalrymen. Yeah, it's all
It's all I'm saying is we get hung up on certain aspects of the way things work when that's clearly it's not just a we hate knives and knife community.
It's great, but it does affect. It's getting broader. So like Shopify started removing their payment processing from people that sell knives. We had that happen the other year, which sucks because they charge lower than anybody else. So like that's a huge benefit for a company to be able to use their payment processor. But they go, oh, you're selling weapons, and because we have this deal with Apple that says no weapons, now you can't use our. So you have to get third-party payment processors, and it's becoming broader and broader and affecting more and more areas.
Right. I haven't seen it with Shopify because I don't use Shopify, so I don't mess with that. But that's the same thing with like the PayPal, right? Like a lot of smaller people. Lefty was complaining his PayPal got shut down, whatever. But hell, when I pay for anything, it's usually through PayPal, and I mean like any knife purchase or anything. So there's still. It's once again, it's the same fucking thing. It's like
selectively. They did that to us. Like the first time we had our sales go viral, they took like $30,000 and locked it up for 6 months.
Yeah,
and I couldn't get it. I couldn't.
I'm just saying it's not a universal because you're selling weapons. Maybe that's the what they told you.
Yeah, that's the excuse.
You're still going to Blade HQ and paying for shit with PayPal.
That's the way that the government.
Can you play for PayPal, Blade HQ still?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I can check right now.
Do y'all remember? Have y'all ever heard of kratom? It's a herb that they sell in most states around the country. Well, that started happening with them with the FDA as they started cutting off their credit card processors, even though they could find no illegality to it, and it's still legal in most states. But it's funny how there are different ways they can bully small businesses and affect them without any kind of due process or any fairness to the way that they apply.
Let's see what happens. Check out as guest. Oh, I hate this bullshit. All right, here. Fill out my information.
Is that
Continue.
auto-populate?
I know I've seen a couple of knife companies that still have it, and I'm always curious as to how they do, or if they're just playing with fire and wait until the shit hits the fan.
Because it does
Well,
lock you down.
They definitely still have they have the Sezzle, the Western Sezzler.
Yeah.
That's a
They
different.
just raise their rates. I'm probably gonna get rid of them, to be honest. Like I might keep them for 1 or 2 more drops, but Sezzle's fucking expensive because they charge the company, not the customer.
Yeah,
like it's interest free, but whew, I don't get that.
Oh, really? How so is it a lot higher of a rate than your average like card?
Yeah, they're up to like I think like 8% they just changed to, that's like astronomical.
Gotcha.
Like usually you're talking 3 or 4%.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought cards were like around 4% charge. What's Square? Do you Square?
Square's like 3.5 right around there.
Okay.
So like I use authorized.net. They charge me 3. The highest they can go is like 4.5, and that's if you have like some weird Discover. Like for certain cards, they actually changes the rate depending on like if you're using a debit card or if you're using this kind of credit card or that kind of credit card. The rate is variable. That's what was so nice about Shopify was it was 2%. It didn't matter how you paid, just 2. Which that was so cool about that processing when we were able to use them. But yeah, so Sezzle was like 5%, which was high, but not that like reasonable, right? So then they jumped it up.
A direct thing for my ability to use PayPal to pay, but if you have a PayPal account, I think you can still just like get a virtual card and pay through it that way. I'm not. Well,
that's
do that right now.
I mean, that's not a here. That's not the same.
No, not at all. So I don't see a PayPal link on them, but I know there's a lot of knife companies that are still using it.
I think Smoky Mountain Knife Works has it set up.
Yeah, because they have the like they do the like PayPal like split thing. I think
and paying for.
Yeah,
how they're able to do it though, because it is a absolutely violent. Because I mean,
they are the world's largest knife retailer.
Well, so here's my thought on some of this stuff: is it matters what rep you get, right? Like whenever your shit gets flagged, if it does. The person sitting on the other side that reviews it, they make the biggest difference because they can decide to screw you or go, nah, you're good. And they have a lot of power. Same thing with like we had a bunch of stuff get snagged in customs, like the relatives. Like it's a folding knife. There's absolutely nothing illegal about this knife, like completely legit on every level. And some idiot was like, no, that's contraband. No, it's not. It just took us 3 months to get them back. And
I mean,
but what I'm saying is the person processing it is what really makes the difference. Because if you have a retard that doesn't know what they're doing, then you get problems.
You can have just from the luck of the draw, or the not luck of the draw. You can have the wrong guy look at it, and you've got a problem. Where if somebody else has seen it the same day, it'd been straight through. Yeah,
I mean, so it really does like. If I ever have to call and do a customer service agent, if like the person on the other end, if I don't like the sound of their voice, I will hang up immediately and call back.
Oh yeah,
I get someone that I think is going to be a reasonable human being.
It's color roulette. I mean, it's absolutely worth it because it makes a difference. I mean, you can get it makes a huge difference.
If they sound helpful, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. And if they're, a lot of times we'll learn that they're not, but a lot of times we'll learn that there are things they can't do. But as long as they shoot straight with you, that's just so refreshing in this day and age.
Working right now. This is the thing I was working on Monday.
What is that?
Oh, I do, painting.
You paint? That's pretty good, man.
Is that Shimiette behind you?
Yeah, that's my my girlfriend with corpse paint on.
He also rehabilitates groundhogs. He has a dude that lives with him. I was just throwing the complexity of pocket metal. I say you also rehabilitate groundhogs.
No, not groundhogs. It's and we rehabilitate them. We gave them a place to live because Texas, those fuckers like to just destroy natural habitats, and we give them a place to live.
You want to see the possum cam?
Javon's fucking on a tangent like a motherfucker
I've got
today.
possums that come around every night. I put cat food out and a fresh bowl of water, and they will.
Yeah, those things look like devil's rats. Like,
They do.
Possums are cool.
Do you know that they're the only animal, they're the only marsupial in North America? They do not carry any diseases. They only eat grubs and shit.
Thank you, Russell.
They're great little animals. And they've got the coolest feet, and they're slow. I thought about going out and trying to startle it to see if it'll play possum, but I feel guilty. But he's just out there chomping along, and then he's got this little shy friend that's about his size that'll come up in a little while.
No, we have one in my front yard when I was a kid. I see them around here every now and then. We have possums out here too. But I had this friend named Jimmy, and guys, such a weird little. Anyway, so there's possum, and he'd never seen one before. So it's walking across our front yard, and he's like, "What is this?" And he's like skipping along next to it, pointing at it, asking me what it is. And I'm like, "It's a possum." And he's like, "So this thing plays dead?" And he like immediately pushed it over with his foot. He didn't kick it, but like he knocked it over, and it played dead. And then he picks the thing up by its tail, and he's like, "This is hilarious." He's literally shaking this thing. It's still playing dead, and then it just latched right onto him.
Good for him.
It was so. I wish, like, you know, it's one of those things I wish I had it on camera. It was so hilarious, but I digress. I've always thought they looked like little demons.
They're definitely, you know, got an interest. I'm a fan of possums, but we have a couple that hang out in our yard, and as soon as we open the door, they hear a sound. I mean, they fucking scoot and boot. They do not like. I'm super surprised that guy was able to like walk beside it.
But they kind of waddle. They're not real quick. They're not real quick. They kind of waddle. They're like a little hippo.
Yeah, I mean, it was one we see around the neighborhood a lot. I think it was used to people. Used to come up and eat the cat food off people's porches and stuff.
They only live 2 years.
I am that person that's eating, like, we feed. We have like 7 deer, fucking 2 possums, 2 families of raccoons. They come here. I mean, I was standing from me to my screen to 2 like 1.5-year-old deer earlier today, just fucking throwing cookies and apples and shit to them. They come every day. That's my beautiful lady is outside probably with them right now. So that's, and the possums still they appreciate the food, and they'll, like, you know, maybe chill out like a couple feet from you, but if you get too close, man, they'll dive off the damn end of a deck.
Yeah, they're not much for social.
So that guy might have been like maybe raised by a person or something to be that calm.
Well, you've also
usually they're real fucking skittish. Everything else, not so much, but the possum.
They're very territorial.
No, it was not in a hurry.
So, like, if you ever go to your barbecue grill and you find a nest of them underneath, there's a good chance you're going to get attacked by a mama.
No, it's trying to protect its babies.
Sure. That's what I mean.
That's the way. I mean, you know, damn near anything is, right.
Let's look at these relatives.
What's up?
I was going to pull up a couple of knives real quick.
We're going to be dropping the actual titanium frame locks here in a week or two.
Which
I'm
one?
I'm doing the OTFs next week, and then the week after I'm going to do the full tie frame locks. So, because right now we just have the special edition ones. The last little bit, I think I have a couple fat carbon, and a couple Ultim left.
Dude, that's sick looking.
Yeah, they came out real nice. And we did a micro liner, so if you can see on the Ultim, there's a little tiny liner that's built into it. I don't think I have one handy. I don't have one handy.
They look great. I know G-Balls looked awesome. His was full dress. But yeah, man, these are so is that just a full Ultim or carbon fiber show side on top of the scale?
Yeah, so go up to the Ultim really quick, because I don't have one handy, but if you look right by the pivot, you can see there's a little tiny micro liner insert in there. So there's a little steel liner in there to give it some extra strength. The carbon fibers have that too, but the show side is just a slab of carbon fiber, just a slab of the Ultim.
Got you. Dude, those are sick.
So you got a couple of those available, and then, like I said, we're doing the full titanium in about 2 weeks. So they'll be like blasted tie with belt set, and they'll be DLC with the stonewash blade. There'll be the black and gold that we've done, and full DLC all the way blacked out. So we're gonna have like 4 options going up.
That was one of the knives that at first I didn't, until I went to Blade Show 2022, really get, because I was all about the multi-deployment and it didn't have the regular flipper. So I was kind of thought I was perplexed by it. But then when I handled it and realized how well it was tuned, it is just, I think it's the best flipper you've designed.
Yeah, we're doing some fun stuff with some other iterations on it coming up for next year, which I think people are gonna get real excited about. We're revamping the Nimble X right now, so I think when you guys get to see the new version of that, I think a lot of people, I'm bringing back the spear point version in that. But we've really kind of merged a lot of the design elements with the relative. Like, you know how you were talking to Pocketbone was talking about how you didn't like the gap between the finger, which I liked it on
the V2, right?
Yeah, so I liked it on the smaller one because it gives you you can put your finger here or here. You have an option, right?
Right.
But on the bigger knives, on the Nimble X, it really was kind of a bit of a hindrance for some folks. So what we're going to do is on the new version of it, it's going to be this exact profile of the relative. So you're just going to have that little tiny little bump.
That looks really nice.
Yeah, like and the flipper is going to hide right there in that little bump, so you won't even see it.
Right on. What's the measurement from not include like the from? I'm pointing at it like you can fucking see. Behind the choil on the blade, but like the initial handle grip area. You know what I mean? Like the
on this one, I want to say the handle's 4.5 inches, right? 4. Yeah, about 4.5 off the top of my head.
Hi, Joe.
Joe, what's up, brother?
And the blade's going to be about 3.6 inches long on the new one, so it'll be a little bit bigger.
That's cool.
Very, very cool.
But I'm going to let you guys go. It was awesome chatting with you guys.
Hey, John, thank you so much for coming by, buddy. I really appreciate you giving the time and sharing the story. And I'm a huge fan. I love the knives. I think they're just another level. Keep doing what you do. For some reason, I've got my Apple TV thing out here.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Take care, buddy. Have a good night.
Thanks for having me on.
Check this little weird looking Tesla thing out.
Dude, I don't understand what your problem is
with fidgets. I'm a weirdo, dude.
I'm switching.
But we are going to do it. We are going to do a giveaway tonight, and I'm going to give away this little sheepdog. This is the new sheepdog. It is the mini. It's aluminum. It's a button lock.
Oh, it's like a flat color, huh? That's cool.
Yeah, dude, it feels great. Some people, to me, it feels like a ProTech. But let me show you guys something. These are on sale. Kaiser's having a summer sale now. And I don't want you to think I'm cheap on you guys because they sent me this for a review. So, but if you go to Sheepdog.
When you say they sent that to you for your review, what you mean to say is that they sent it to you for free.
Well, yeah, to review and to give away. Exactly. and I encourage that and am thankful. Well, it's gone up. It was on sale. No, that's not it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Hold on, because it was. If they still bought them, it was under $40, guys.
I forgot you were having a guest on tonight. I might not have stopped in.
Dude, I'm glad you did. I wanted you to. I mean, you guys live right there in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, but that does not mean that he wants to hear my 2 cents on shit.
Dude.
Fucking hell.
No, your 2 cents is always welcome. All right, let me see.
My 2 cents is the last thing anyone wants to hear.
All right, check this out, guys. I was wrong. It is a little more expensive, but it's less than what I paid because I had a mini sheepdog liner lock and I had a mini sheepdog regular, right? So this one's aluminum handle, $48.
That's, I mean, I forget what I have the regular size liner lock on my Carta version.
I had that.
I might have fucked it up a little bit, chopping a walnut in half with it to make a video.
What? Like put a little dent in it?
No, I mean, I think I can't remember. I don't even know where the fucking knife is, to be quite honest with you. I can't remember if the lockup. I don't know if it just needed tightened or what, but
Look, they've got it for $51.35, save 31%, 35%. I mean, they've got some really good prices on. Like,
dude, why did you not get a link to begin with? Aren't you? That's fucking ridiculous. How are you not giving Scotchgard a fucking link?
Oh, I was going to do that right when he left. Hold on a second. Let me say.
What, you don't want him coming in the middle and being like, "Fuck your Chinese made shit."
No, I was giving John. I can't deal with a lot of people and have somebody on that I'm trying to.
I tried to shut my mouth for a little while.
You did good, and you got a back door. You can come in anytime. Hold on, Scotch. It's coming to you, buddy.
Slid in. There was a few things that I think were said that like kind of miffed the fuck out of me, but I shut up because it's technically not my show. Do unto others, right?
Dude, you know me. I try to do my best. I always fuck up though. If I didn't, it wouldn't be fun. All right.
I put up some stickers. I don't know if anyone saw, because on my Monday show, there were some people who had a misunderstanding of what the fuck goes on Mondays about what the fuck they can say and me not tell them to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, this is a totally different format. So anything goes as long as y'all are kind to each other. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a random giveaway in a little while in the chat. It's probably the best way to do it. If I had a video that was sucking, which I probably do, I can go find it and y'all can leave a comment. But that's kind of artificially messing with the numbers. So we'll just do a random. However, you do have to be familiar. You do have to be someone who's chatted once or twice, or we know, or you've been here, or you've been around.
My grandma's house had a sign on it back in the day when, you know, she was alive, I guess. But on the back entrance to the house, it said "backdoor guests are best."
I've got to put this in a box right after the show.
Damn, Grandma, you dirty.
This is not to make you mad, Pocket Metal. This is because I'm really, really impressed with this little knife. I'm sending it back tonight.
Good.
It is a fantastic
overpriced hunk of shit.
It's not overpriced, dude. If you look at my superlative,
dude, I'm just saying that just to, you know, whatever. I do believe that it's a little bit steep.
A lot of people do, but it's under $250, and I've got a Best Tech Axon that's $285. It was expensive, but I knew it was when I bought it.
You can buy a Bark River. Now, is it the same aesthetic? No, but an American-made knife with a lifetime warranty for cheaper than that.
You can. But again, a lot of what I buy is stock, like you say.
That's why I say it's overpriced.
You buy what you like.
Because we were both trying to add you at the same time. The guy paid like $25 for that thing to be made.
You get fucking famous and I can't come on?
That's what I'm saying, right? What a crock of shit.
If you look at this against that little superlative color or a couple of those others, dude, this is a great little knife.
Put that away. I just ordered a USA custom knife for less than that.
That's what I'm saying. Come to fuck on with that shit.
Christ.
So what?
Okay, first, all right. I've had a lot of beer tonight. Dude, that guy seems cool. Seems like a cool guy. Cool. Seems like a very cool guy. I understand what he had to do to support his family.
Oh, he did it on his own, man.
To support his
you can
family.
Get one of these for $275.
I'm tired of these guys lying to you about
not being able to have American-made shit.
No, yeah. Don't fucking tell me.
Like, I had a conversation with Shane on the phone yesterday.
But it's like, well,
I was on the phone with that fucker for like an hour or so.
They paid for the fucking machines. And guess what? There is proof that it's all one thing. So when I hear them say, this company does it better than this company, they're all the same.
But they're not.
I feel like I'm talking to Shane again.
Oh, dude,
you could have the same.
Come on, Pocket Metal. I know you're a bleeding heart liberal. Those fucking work conditions over there are horrible for those people.
Hey, man, listen.
Yeah.
I'm not. Here's the thing. I cannot, because there's too much like fucking back and forth fucking information. Why does my phone not tell me how long I was on the phone with somebody? But anyways, yeah, I was talking on Wednesday. I was on Wednesday with Shane.
You have a business account.
Talking the same fucking shit. Anywho, I hear a lot of you know, maybe a huge percentage of it, shit like SRM and fucking what's the fucking Ganzo and all that shit is probably, yes, a giant fucking facility.
They all are.
All being made by the same thing.
They all are.
But
anyway, here's
I do not
here's a screen
think
door.
that it's every single company.
But they're being made to different standards.
Designers have design.
Companies
Companies own their own design. Like if you work for this brand, there's
Isn't that hilarious to say that a Chinese company owns a design because they don't have copyright?
That's what they say. But their designers make their own knives. And then that dude, what's his name, John? Dude, he didn't want to show you a picture of that new knife because he's already had a knife copied. He shows you his new knife. It'll be out before he can get it out.
How many people in here are using iPhones?
Oh, same thing.
Are you using an iPhone, Scotch Bright?
No, mine's a pro-American phone.
What the fuck's a pro-American phone?
There is no such thing.
What the fuck is a pro-American phone?
But I can control. If I could buy an American phone.
No, but you can buy one from South Korea.
These are fun. These are fun toys for all of us. These are fun toys for all of us, and I can spend my discretionary income wherever I want.
You can buy a South American phone.
And
not South American, South Korean. My bad. I don't know why.
Who makes South Korean phones?
Samsung, South Korean.
God, their interface sucks, but I'll do it.
You're fucking high. I much prefer Samsung's interface over. I mean, I have an iMac. I have an iPad. You know what the fuck ever. It's like the Mac Pro desktop that I'm working on right now. All of it's Mac.
They don't make as much money. I mean, look what I mean. He can't make as much money making an American made.
Samsung wasn't originally. When did Samsung get made in China? They used to be all in South Korea. There's other phones made there too.
I mean, look, the fucking Lumia now is $60.
The which Lumia?
The fucking clone Lumia.
Oh yeah.
Alex is going on my boy's podcast. So is Shane. But Steingrabber's going on to talk about that next week sometime or 2 weeks. I don't know.
Where are Samsung phones made? Not where you think.
I don't have comments up. Hold on. What are the lemmings saying?
They're made in China.
That's rude.
I don't fucking care any. Like, friends to make money. Fuck, I've got friends. People, I mean, right? You and I disagree on everything, and we're friends. I know you and I, if we got together, we would get drunk and have a fucking blast.
This is true.
What?
But y'all would come to blood.
I don't know. I think I showed this knife, Paul, and then the Lumia, maybe. I don't know what I was flicking.
What I'm saying is there are alternatives, yet everyone's still.
I know. Listening to him complain about how Facebook and Instagram aren't fair to him.
Well, that's an argument I love to have with people because it's not the content.
But listening to him complain about how he's not getting a fair deal, it's like, do you think those guys building your knives are getting any kind of? What's their 401k look like? What's their fucking? Come on,
dude.
I paid my guy. We haven't worked in 2 fucking weeks, and we're working one day next week, and then I'm going on vacation. I've paid my guys full time for 3 fucking weeks to sit on their ass.
That's a different deal, though. You can't say that.
Listen, not everyone can make very large above ground swimming pools.
Exactly. Well, I'm not making very many of them right now.
But the point is you can't compare because what is considered normal here is also in their culture possibly considered normal. We shouldn't judge.
Dude, people be trying to kill themselves to get out of work.
Concentration camps are normal.
Right. They put nets in to stop people from committing suicide.
I get it.
Javon, come on. All right, you and I are going to take
a
work in vacation to China next year.
I don't want to
China. That would be the best. That would be the best video road trip. I would love to watch.
I come home with nothing. Javon's he's just there sitting on a fucking grinder all day. When's my lunch break? Shut up.
I mean, it could be, but I'm not there to see it, right? I don't know.
It's bamboo.
I don't. It's not that I'm turning a blind eye to it. I'm just saying that it's a thriving industry.
But the thing is, though, is like I said earlier, is like once you get past 4 knives, it's not that you need to buy another knife.
No,
you're buying shit knowing.
Dude, I went on a site the other day. And
Well,
I'm not saying I haven't done it too. I'm not saying I haven't done it. I'm just saying
discretionary purchases. I agree, and I wish there were more American knives that I loved that I could afford, and I've got and try to buy just American knives now.
I know you and even Scotch, probably 90% of the people in the chat have more shit than me, and I still regularly will open up something and be like, "Oh, I forgot I own that."
Oh God, yes.
You know what I mean? So if you are in that situation where you're fucking, then you don't fucking need to.
No, I agree. I think a lot of it is either content driven or for me it's always been addiction.
What does that even mean?
It's always been addiction driven. I've always bought knives. I quit buying other stuff.
I talked to here's the thing though, like the guys that have actually put the time in to learn how to make a knife, they're not designers. They make the knife. They bought the money.
I feel like I'm talking to Shane again. What the fuck? You guys pass around the rule book?
It's like your argument versus your art versus like AI, right? That's kind of what it is. These guys learn the process on how to heat treat, how to sharpen, how to make a knife. I mean, it's not really, but it'd be like when Javon goes, why don't you just have AI do your art? But I was talking to Dwayne Dwyer. I talked to him for a fucking hour, and I started to space out because he was like Shane. He geeks out about metal, and I'm like, bah.
Yeah, Shane was balls deep in what the fuck is it? The Alabama Steel Works or Alabama Damascus, talking to me about that company and stuff. And
I saw Shane hit me up on Strider too, and Strider still does all their own stuff. I talked to Dwayne about it. Anyway, sorry, squirrel. But like I just brought up to him, I said, "Hey, man, my buddy talked to Laren Thomas." I said something. I brought this up last week, and everybody lost their fucking minds in here. So hold on, kids, plug your ears. Where he told Shane that, to his knowledge, no Chinese knife company has been sold MagnaCut. And he said he believed it because for a long time, M390 was the hotness. And
so you think that everything that comes out of China isn't MagnaCut?
I disproved that. I found out.
Because, love them knives.
He said he looked at stuff in the spectrometer or whatever that fucking fancy thing is, and he said it's not.
Love Them Knives did a test. I watched his video recently.
But they're very good at copying stuff, getting close, but it might not be sold. It might not be actual from Crucible.
Okay, so you're saying so it's a chemical or a steel composite that's close enough that when you do the testing on it, it reads as this, but it is not the same.
It's not bought from Crucible.
Gotcha.
Anyway, but he said just like in their 30 years of business, the thousands of clones that they've had to destroy coming in. And I know everybody likes to talk about like I've got a couple knives in MagnaCut now, and I don't, I'd rather have S45. But anyway, talking to him, and he said he's friends with Laren. He was friends with Laren's dad, I guess. But talking to him about MagnaCut, Laren has his optimal heat treat for it. And this is probably more of a conversation for Shane. But Laren has their optimal. I don't know what MagnaCut's supposed to be heat treated at, but Dwayne will make a blank blade or whatever. And he's got this copper wire that they used in the military years ago. And it's not the wound copper wire, it's solid copper wire. And he'll heat treat blanks at different heat treats and then use a press and take that blade and push down on the copper wire. And if it's too soft, it'll just kind of round, like the blade will go around the copper wire. If it's too hard, and he says like where he wants to heat treat his MagnaCut, if he heat treats it to where Laren says, he'll push down and it'll crack it. It won't be round, but it'll be chipped. So the blade will crack around that. So he treats it. He said where it will cut through. the copper wire, if that makes sense.
Well, one of Crucible's distributors sells internationally.
Maybe that's the case. I can't wait until we see Javon just in some prison camp making knives.
I'll never be there, dude. I'll never be there.
Yeah, dude, come on. You're
Let's see
in
what they
deep.
say.
You went around and you're getting Kaiser, or who's sending you free knives? Kaiser.
And
Yeah,
Boston-
Kaiser.
Yep, you're going. They're going
Goddamn
to be like,
chill.
Dude,
hey,
I started out.
They're like,
my whole-
Javon, how tall are you?
I am 5'6". I'm like
Exactly. They said he will fit in our mandatory work clothes,
dude, I will never.
and he looks like
For $50, you show me a better knife than this little guy. That's perfectly centered on bearings with a rock solid button lock, a 14C blade. I don't know how hard it is, but it cuts good. And it's just
that's BS. What's BS, Kyle? I don't know.
We're not saying that you can buy something better for $50.
yeah. Let me show you.
But what I am
the stuff I
saying
found.
is that if
He doesn't have
you,
a PhD, but he's got a degree in it. He said he was very clear. My degree is in some sort of engineering, but he doesn't have a PhD like Laren. And he said they're friends. They talk about it. Crucible doesn't sell directly anyway. That's manufactured.
No, this is it right here. This
I don't
company sells Crucible.
If you guys buy Chinese, I'm not out to make friends anymore. If you guys buy Chinese knives, you're idiots.
Hey, China, you buy Chinese knives, Goob.
No, I don't.
Do you
I'm an
have
idiot.
some?
I've had some.
I am an idiot. I do have, and I plan on maybe buying the WE-XL when it comes out because fuck it, I like it.
The what?
The WE-XL. It is. Let me see if I find my little guy. I bought the little one when it came out, the original one.
Ken Gangle
like
says y'all are more confused than Biden. Neat.
That was pathetic. I'm just sorry. I
Dude,
like
that's just
my
elder
knives.
abuse at that point.
So this is the original one, and it's like the size of an f5.5, which I also have, which is a Chinese made knife. But I have a bunch. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying I'm not going to argue that it's
You had hold on real quick before I fucking forget this because I'm drunk. Javon, you had the Archer in hand, right?
The what?
The tactile Archer.
No, I did have it.
I did. I watched your fucking review on it.
Yeah, I don't own it though. I had it.
I am talking whatever Dwyer said on Magna Cut.
My buddy had it.
I'm not in. I'll give you his number. You can call him. Did you like it?
Palmer, you're not old enough to buy knives. Your comment doesn't
I
count.
tried one at Blade Show.
Oh Jesus!
But I was totally underwhelmed with. He had the one that was the special color, and it
I'm
was
still not sure that guy's real.
better.
Is
I'm
it?
not a dainty knife guy.
Is it dainty? The
Yes,
Archer.
it's dainty.
The Archer is the size of a fucking.
Oh
Sebenza.
no, the Archer, bleh.
You didn't like
I
it?
thought all tactile turn knives were pretty small.
No,
I haven't really looked
I would
at
not
it.
go-
Well, the
I
Archer's
would
different,
not
but
pay
it's
a hemorrhoid
designed.
price for it.
You know who designed it? The same guy that designed the Arius.
Let me tell you something. It's so sharp on the handle.
Is it?
Hey, you feel the clip like a major hot spot, and then the underside. I didn't do any hard cutting with it, but I could tell that it was sharp where the lock face was. So the whole underside of the knife, it felt too thin. It was a nice knife, but for $600, $599, nah.
Dude, I got.
Now, Rob Nerdy Knives loves it.
I almost bought one. I almost bought one a couple times, but I'm like, I've heard their QC kind of blows on their newer knives, and then they get straightened out. And I went to their site today, and the only one they had zirconium inlays or whatever, and it was like $700. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you don't need to go that stout on your first one.
I feel
Conan
like Palmer
design the Archer?
is
No.
working for that
no.
guy on Dateline.
What's his name? TJ Swartz designed the Archer, and he designed the Arius. Koning didn't design. Bill Koning is an amazing engineer. He's an amazing machinist. But maybe his brand new knife that just came out. But the Arius and what's the other one?
Rask.
Mini Goblin.
A Mini Goblin.
Those were not designed by him.
Palmer, I don't think the Archer's an integral.
Poor Ben.
No.
Mama's still outside?
No, he's been still.
Dude, I've been scouring. So I fly out Tuesday morning. I've been scouring Smoky Mountain Knife Works website to see what I'm going to buy. And I can't think of anything yet.
I didn't get it.
Before you buy anything, they got to give me my affiliate link. Let me see what my status.
I haven't seen any. Well, there's a couple Doc Schiffer knives on there.
It's too small.
I don't know. I'm just gonna wander around and I'll probably just buy a T-shirt.
I decided not to buy any more GECs that were that small, so I didn't buy it.
I'll sell you a cotton sampler.
I have the Harvester, which is the one I wanted. I didn't want the cotton sampler.
I just found out I haven't, and Marisol traded me. I probably got screwed on that deal. I don't even know what it was worth. I'm just kidding, Mar. I love you. I've got, what is it, Marisol? What did you trade me? I've never carried it. I've looked at it.
Is it a GEC really or what is it?
It's a modded GEC.
Oh, is it his modded Sodbuster pattern?
Yeah. It's a beautiful knife, but
that's I think that was modded by Slip Joint Spa, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's a really nice knife.
I know, but I can't bring myself to carry it because it's just like I'm too lazy to. The
knife itself was like around a little over $100, but you can't. They haven't made them in like over 5 years.
Is it Josh?
Not 5 years. They haven't made them since 2000.
It's an awesome knife. So maybe I'll start. I was gonna.
It's a great knife, and he spent X amount of like at least $200 getting the thing modded. I think so.
It's awesome. Maybe I'll start.
The guy told me they covered
one-handed. I wish 5-door was in here because he really likes it. Like this fucking Chris Reed 31 man has been a real bastard.
Y'all drop Kaiser in the chat.
Hey, Twang wants to buy your cotton sampler.
As smooth as a 21.
You should just give it to
I took this thing apart today and cleaned it.
Twang thing.
He'll sell it to you. He bought it at a good deal too.
I called him a cotton picker once and Pocket Metal got grumpy.
How'd I get grumpy?
Specialized G7. Maris, I love it. It is beautiful. Like I will look at it and hold it, but I haven't carried it yet.
Yeah, that's an amazing knife. I even said, I was like, "Oh, that's a great knife," and he was like, "That's mine." Like I was scrolling through the guys.
Dude, it's amazing, but it just sits like I've got some other knives but that's one. Like I try and carry everything, but I just haven't found the need to carry a slip joint yet.
So here's a USA made.
But then the sad thing was I saw a couple $1,000 slip joints on.
I'll take $100 off the price of your painting for it.
Deal. I was only going to send you $1.99 in PayPal.
We're going to be busy.
This ruined the fucking joke now. Now it's not going to be any fucking good.
That would have been fucking hilarious.
After Monday, what you said, or after we talked about what pricing was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, I just tell you what you think it's worth. I was going to literally just PayPal you $1.99 and see what you said.
There's a reason why I don't do this deal with people who are flat ass broke. All right.
I was just gonna fucking.
That's funny, Colin.
$1.99 and not say a fucking word and wait until you said something.
Everyone's playing for you, just so you know, so you can win a Kaiser.
And you'll like it, dude. I'm sending it to you if you win it.
I'm going to be. How far are you away from Tennessee, Javon? If I win that knife, I'm going to drive to your house and cut the screens out of your windows with it.
You're coming right ahead,
you should
dude.
Stick it in this car door.
Maybe I might use it to cut tape to fix your car door.
You can do that. I will let you. I'll put you.
I'll bring a roll of fucking duct tape.
Fucking hell!
I stashed a bunch of knives in my wife's minivan.
Well, give me your address if you happen to win.
I don't want to fucking look at that knife.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
If I win that knife, just give it to someone else. Give it to
fucking kill me here.
Give it. There's gotta be some crackhead that lives by you that can stab another crackhead with it.
Now you choose somebody out of the chat because there are a lot of people.
I'm playing for Scotch now.
Kids, I gotta run.
I'm here.
Take care, dude.
Yeah, we gotta do a little late night to the grocery store.
He's gotta finish up my painting. He needs that $1.99. Funny. He's gonna go. We're rich. No, I don't want to say this. This isn't derogatory, but you're gonna get off and you're gonna turn to Shima and be, "We're rich, biatch."
$1.99.
$1.99. Let's go to the dollar store. I'm gonna treat you good tonight.
I go to the dollar store all the time because if I didn't, buying cookies for them damn deer would get insanely expensive.
Is nobody jumping on my Kaiser?
They eat like 20 pounds of cookies a week, for fuck's sake, man. It's and not to mention the apples. I wish the dollar store sold apples too. Jesus Christ.
Awesome
I
crew.
gotta jump on here so I can get in for someone. Hold on, hashtag.
Bye.
See, maybe. I got to get up early Monday. Hashtag. What's it? Kaiser.
Kaiser.
I've never won anything. Kaiser for who am I in for? Who wants to win a Kaiser?
Play for Demonock.
Demon
Or
Rock?
Space Ghost. Or Space Ghost.
Jeez, you're calling out
Or
favorites
Dwayne
now, and
Weatherman.
now you just got screwed. You called out one, you're like, oh no, I don't want to piss.
No, anybody. I'm just looking at people who are trying
You
to
know
win.
what? Hey, Paul Mills won the last night. Play for Paul again.
Speaking of Paul, he and I traded for this knife. And what do you think of it? I love this Microtech more than my American
Dude,
made.
I gave Paul that. What is that? It's okay. I'm a huge fan of the SOCOM Elite.
Yeah, this is the Bravo.
Yeah, I like the Bravo, but
Mini
then
Bravo.
again, it was I bought it to check out, and then it was gone. My pivot kept coming loose. Yeah, so I gave that knife away to Paul, and then what I do today, I just ordered another custom fixed blade. I can't care. I love the idea of a fixed blade. Like I've got one I keep in my camper. Shane's making me one. I want a Winkler.
Spine whack the shit out of them.
I want a Winkler, but I bought that. I put my order in for that. What's it called? Creature Defense.
Yeah, that's a badass.
Creature Defense. So my boy, go check out his live stream, Justin. Meet MEAT in the Mayhem. He's gonna have Shane on, I think, Monday. Just a knife fan. But then he's had some other makers on, Jesse Jaros.
What's his channel?
He doesn't have a YouTube channel. He's got a podcast on Spotify and Instagram. Meet MEAT in the Mayhem. And they just talk knives, EDC gear shit. But yeah, he's having Shane on. He's having Alex Steingraber on in a week or so. Guys have Palmer. Yeah, I have a brand new Essie in the basement that I have never used. Never. So I want to. I've got a Strider fixed blade that I've used camping. It's all beat up, so that's in my bag. But really, I don't ever carry. Like I use them for camping, but never for carrying. Gents around here tonight. So yeah, bring up that dude again. Super cool guy. I guess he's a tattoo artist.
Also. Let me pull him up again. Hold on a sec.
Let me find his fucking page. Creature Defense. Savage Creature Defense Tools on Instagram.
I got it.
And then I've got I ordered the Mini Titan.
And I couldn't find it on there. That's why I was saying find it for me.
You got to go down a ways. He makes a lot of weird shit. But I found one that looked more like I could use it. Savage Creature, Savage X. It's Savage X Creature. So I found one. He makes a lot of defensive type knives. And dude, look, I don't want to. I'm not fucking stabbing someone. I'm just gonna shoot them. So I ordered.
I'm scrolling way down, but I'm not seeing shit.
I'll show you a picture. He makes all. This is the Titan. Hold on.
Is it got a handle or a wrapped handle?
It's got a wrapped handle. Hold on one second. Here we go. Look down to May 3rd.
All right, May 3rd.
The two bottom ones. There, it's got a Tracker Dan-esque. The red handle and the green handle. One of those real raw looking. But when it's my turn, he'll spec it for me. Comes in a sweet coffin presentation box, and so yeah, I've got. I didn't look. Hold on. Go up. No, yeah, you were at Christmas.
Share it. I'll let you share. All you gotta do is click.
I don't know how to share anything.
Click present on the bottom.
I don't. My computer's not hooked up.
I got you. I got you. I'll find it.
It's from May 3rd.
These just tell me 15 weeks, 30 weeks.
Yeah, go up. You're way down. Go up.
Let's see.
Go up. More. keep going. He's a tattoo artist also. That's why I think all those sexy ladies.
I don't know what it is with tattoo artists, but they can make some knives. Jason does a good job.
Well, I think that's one right there with the green wrap. Yeah, right there. That green wrapped handle, that's one. I don't know if that's a mini or a Titan.
Oh, that's a mini Titan.
Yeah, that's what I ordered.
Hey,
So
dude, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it just looks kind of Tracker Dan-ish, kind of stabby pokey, but I can also open boxes with it. I don't fucking know. He makes it's got a Kydex sheath with a leather wraparound. Josh Branson said Strider. Yes.
I like it.
Sorry, I followed your buddy Scotch, but he needs to ditch the Canic. It's not. He's got a bunch of he's a Glock boy. I'm a Glock boy too. But you know what? I was talking with Dwayne. Oh, you guys want to see that? Dude, titanium blades are weird. Any of you guys have a titanium blade?
I do not. How does that work?
Fucking weird. Okay, so it's titanium. And then this side that you can see here is carbidized. And this was my first custom Strider ever. And I traded it, and then I got it back because I missed it, and then I traded it again, and I just got it back the other day. It's so titanium soft, so they grind this side. It's got the nightmare grind on this side, carbidized on that side, so it's really toothy. And the carbidizing is what cuts. You can't slice paper with it, but everything else it's meant to cut flesh. But
why would they use that? Just because it's anti-corrosion, or
it's a knife that won't rust. It's just Mick does fun stuff, right?
Right.
And
and they're designed to stick in soft stuff.
Yeah, this is meant to cut flesh. But it's weird. Like it won't cut. I can rub myself over it, but I cut plastic with it. Like it's weird. It'll pierce and just cut through paper. It won't slice paper, but I can stab it into paper and draw it, and it cuts perfect.
All right, everybody get in. I'm going to draw in about 15 seconds.
But it's nice to have my first custom back ever. So
I think that's awesome, dude.
And it's just a badass looking, and it's weird. I was talking with a friend tonight, and it's a knife I can show you that I sent in the minivan to Tennessee. But
throw Kaiser in the chat if you're new here. We're giving away the little sheepdog.
I posted pictures of this knife, and because they are rare, I've had more just people I don't know hit me up to try and buy it than I ever have on any other knife.
Because it's so unique?
It is. And it's an XL strike plate. And he hasn't done them in years now. 3. Yeah, this knife, I don't know if they'll ever do them again. He does weird shit.
All right, guys, I'm giving it 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Good luck, everybody.
Kyle, did you know that Dwayne Dwyer invented
3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody.
SM100 and CVN1. Since Kyle's my steel guy here. What are you fucking laughing at? Fuck all you guys. I played for Paul Mills. Congratulations.
Paul Mills. Hold on a second. Let me put Scotch.
God, you guys suck balls.
To Paul Mills.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Paul Mills, I've got your address, brother, but just send me an email tonight.
If you guys need one knife for the rest of your life, just buy a fucking Sebenza. Save your fucking money instead of buying a $200 knife every month, and just buy a Sebenza. If you need a fidget toy, buy a Hinderer because they're pretty fidgety. Or
XM24s are in stock.
Dude, XM18s are in stock all over the place.
Paul, this is brand new. I've got the box, buddy. So just shoot me an email to remind me, and I'll get it sent out to you tomorrow. I got to send out the little jacket.
Paul, I want to know who ships faster, me or Javon.
Oh, I'll have the label printed right after the live. It'll be ready to go in the mailbox tomorrow. But you're probably just as fast.
You know what, Twang thing? That is the first time I've ever won anything. But I don't really play in the drawing, so.
That was totally random. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean,
that's hilarious. Everybody, who put that in there?
I'm going to be sending Paul the Strider.
You don't know who put that in. You just saw that my name came up.
Right. No, that's you.
Yeah, I didn't put that in.
Yeah, you did. You put in a
for Paul Mills.
Yeah, you put in Kaiser, and it was for Paul Mills. You couldn't write in there for Paul Mills. You said
hilarious.
That. So that is actually a legit win for you.
Me, a fidget knife. I mean, Alex Steingraber. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys like Bearing knives? Holy shit! I mean, look at like what American craftsmen can do.
I mean, it's beautiful stuff. I mean, I'm all for it. I have nothing.
But guess what? China will make you this exact same thing that looks exactly like this and charge you half. It's the point of what do those people have to go through to do that, and what's it mean to American manufacturing? It's about American manufacturing. You guys know grain bins. A company local to me, a Nebraska company, who my father-in-law helped design the roof. They've got the best roof in the industry. When people ask me, every time I'm on a farmer's farm or they ask me what the best grain bin is. There's lots of things. First, it starts with concrete, and then it depends on who's building it. But what goes together the easiest and what's got the best roof? It's MFS. They were bought by a Canadian company years ago. And now they are moving all of their company, all of the Chinese calamities they're $69. Palmer, why don't you buy yourself one with your millions of dollars?
I have not, Patina, but I'm going to check it out.
They are moving
right now,
manufacturing out of Nebraska to Canada, and they are ditching the entire line. And I've had many dealers call me freaking out. So half the dealers I build bins for won't sell these bins next year, and they want to know who. But it's not just knives; it's everything, guys. It's American manufacturing. It's fun because these are fun for us, right? Hobby, just fun stuff. We need one. All right, I could have a Strider SMF, just a single Strider SMF, and I'd be set for life. But it's not.
That's exactly right.
Children and your children's children going to do, right? Think of what your dads and your grandfathers did, what they made. It's the point of we are losing that ability in this country, and we're becoming lazy and dependent on others to do things for us. Chinese people have families. Dude, if you think those guys have 401k, do you think they have vacations? Do you think they get paid a fair wage? You're fucking crazy.
But that's all relative, though, to different governments.
I mean, honestly, dude, just Google it.
I know, but Google.
No. He said that Chinese people have families. Yeah, and they're born into basic slavery. So.
But it's better that they have jobs than they don't. You know, especially my understanding is the knife making area is different than
Chinese people. It's the Chinese government.
Right. But the Chinese government, just like the Russian government or any government, it's a different world, right? They've got different.
Yeah, but at least, Russia, Putin's an idiot. But Palmer has billions, not millions. We need to make your name, but knives can be somewhere. Yeah, exactly, Patina. It's not just knives. We've lost everything. My buddy works for the power company. He's a big wig. He doesn't like to talk about it. Like I asked him, we golf, and on our Arizona trip, I just said, hey, what if an EMP did happen? What are your guys' backups for that? And we didn't want to talk about it. I said, no, seriously, dude. He goes, we're fucked. We don't make anything. All that comes from China. Those transformers are over a year out to get. I mean, if anything like that ever happened, we'd be back to the Stone Age, and you guys would be beating each other. You'd hope you had knives, because you'd be throwing rocks at each other.
Not me. I'd be slashing.
Once you're exactly, I'll have one in each hand. But I mean, seriously, we don't make anything anymore. Those Transformers, all that stuff.
It is said Stevie time. It is Taco Bell time. Scotch, I've got to go eat. I love you kids.
You guys have a good week. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm going on vacation Tuesday.
You're going to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, dude. You're going to make a thing.
I have no idea. Like my wife's side of the family, my wife and her sister plan these trips. I just go. So I'm jumping on a plane Tuesday. They left today. And I'm going to go take my kids and wander around the world's largest knife store. And
that's a mad win, dude.
Buy a t-shirt. I want to buy them each a knife, but we'll see. So maybe they'll get their first vacation knife. I hope you guys all have a good time.
Guys,
I'm not going to get Chinese food. It's not against Chinese people, and I'm sorry. You might not like me, but you're an idiot if you think that's what it's about. I love Chinese food too. I love Chinese people. They don't have fair working conditions. They're working for nothing. They're basically slaves.
That's indisputable. I think we can all agree on that.
And guess what? You don't have to listen to me. So have fun. We're going to agree to disagree, but why don't you just Google it? Because you're making yourself sound ignorant right now.
It is all good in the hood, guys. Remember, always.
But he's got a wrench, so he's okay. I'd time you out if I could. I'd ban you.
Choose debate, not hate. Look out!
I don't want to hate, but
your left.
People are just idiots.
Well, we all are.
No, he's. I'm gonna go get Chinese food, dude. You're a dumbass. Sorry.
I love you all.
This is Javon's channel, and I'm not here. I mean, he can boot me at any time, but man,
it's all love, guys.
They do, but only Space Ghost. It depends on your socials.
I love you guys. Peace out.